It is 10 o'clock. Good morning from the NFL Scouting Combine in Indianapolis. I'm Lucas Panzica. Quarterbacks are meeting with the media today in Indy. Vanderbilt QB Diego Pavia stepped up to the podium and made his case for why he should be an attractive quarterback prospect for NFL teams.
I would just say turn on the tape. You know, it's not like we're not playing these guys that are going first round, second round on Saturdays, you know, in the SEC. So, you know, the SEC and the Big Ten probably have the most guys, you know, getting drafted in the first, second round. So, you know, we're playing those guys, and ain't nothing going to change.
Workouts got underway yesterday at Lucas Oil Stadium, and Ohio State linebacker Sonny Styles stole the show with a 4.46 40 and a 43.5 vertical, the best among linebackers. College hoops this weekend. Tennessee is back home, hosting Alabama at 5 p.m. tomorrow. Vol Network coverage on The Zone starts at 4:30, and Vanderbilt hits the road to Rupp Arena, taking on Kentucky. 1 p.m. is the tip-off on Saturday. For all your foundation repairs and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
All right, let's do one more from Indianapolis. The NFL Scouting Combine continues on. It's the event that never seems to end, but that's all right. We've had a great time, made possible by Wholesale Supply and Two Rivers Ford, Hattie B's Hot Chicken, all our great partners who make this event possible for us and for you, by extension, each and every season. Somebody who makes us smarter each and every season is who we're going to lead off the show with today, Greg Cosell. Hi, buddy.
Buck, it's
What do you
good to
think?
see you. It's a fun week, Buck. You got to admit that. It's a fun week.
I got to admit it. Are you kidding me? I can't stop having fun. This is my favorite week of the year.
I know you're in bed by 9 every night, but still, it's a fun week.
I was tucked in with my milk and cookies last night. No, not quite. Kirby had me out until the wee hours, and even then he wouldn't shut the hell up when we got back to the Airbnb. It's okay. It's okay.
Just trying to get out in one piece, Greg.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. So we had testing yesterday at
We did.
At Lucas Oil. From your vantage point, Greg, well, I just guess from the perspective, for your perspective, can you tell the audience kind of what you get access to versus the average person who gets, the average media member,
Right.
the average vulture like me who gets to attend this thing?
I was sitting in the dome. I was sitting in the stands, but close to the action. And I got to tell you, I've been doing this a long time coming here. I think I started in 1999, and the only year I missed, of course, was the pandemic year when there was no combine. And I thought that the linebacker group, which was the third group, because yesterday it started with D tackles, then DN/edge players, and then linebackers. I can't remember everything, obviously, but I thought that linebacker group overall, just watching them work, again, these are workouts. We're not saying that all of a sudden makes every guy a top 40 pick, but just the workouts, that was as good a group of linebackers in terms of workouts that I can recall seeing. I mean, I don't think there was a guy that I came away thinking, boy, he had a bad workout.
Yeah.
It was so much fun to watch. And quite frankly, all the workouts went really quickly and made it seem even better just watching because so many guys didn't run the 40s. So therefore, because the 40s are the things that drag.
Yeah.
Because if everybody runs 40s because they run them twice, that seems like it takes a week out of your life just watching guys run the 40s. So this just happened, you stayed on top of it, you were concentrating. I was watching all these guys. Most of them I haven't seen on tape yet, but I'm anxious to see a bunch of them now just because of their, what they did yesterday.
It's always fun to see the athletic testing just to kind of marvel at some of these
Right.
dudes. And one such guy was Sonny Styles.
Jeez.
Yesterday, the Ohio State linebacker. I mean, I don't normally describe combine testing as breathtaking, Greg, but I truly felt that was the case yesterday for Sonny Styles.
First of all, I've seen his tape, so I remember watching him last summer, in a sense, before he was Sonny Styles, as it were.
Yeah.
So I watched him last summer from his 2024 tape, and I reached out to a good friend of mine who was actually an intern on my matchup show, like 16 years ago, and then he got a job scouting in the league, and he's been in the league since. and he covers the Midwest for the team that he works for. And I just said, hey, this Sonny Styles kid's really good. And he said, oh, yeah, he's really, really good. So this was last summer. So then you see him play this year. Because don't forget, it's only his second year, Buck, playing the linebacker position. And then you see the athletic testing numbers. I mean, it's crazy. And even Arvell Reese.
Yeah.
I mean, his athletic testing numbers were ridiculous as well.
And it's one of those things specific to Reese, and we touched on this a little bit when you last visited with us on, what was that?
Wednesday, I believe.
Wednesday,
yeah.
Sounds correct. The idea that, teams will he's not getting drafted in a vacuum, Reese, so it will depend on who selects him and how they see the vision for him within the defense. But to your point, they're going to have to pick a position for him to start with. And it seems, at least based on some of the testing, and I defer to you, understanding what the tape is, it seems like we are trending in the direction of an off-ball linebacker.
Well, it's funny. That's what he chose to work. He chose to work out with the off-ball linebackers.
Yeah.
And he came in at 241. So my guess is if he really chose to work out with the edge rushers and the DNs, he probably would have come in at 247, 248, and I doubt there would have been any difference whatsoever in his athletic movement. No, he's another guy that's freakish, because I've seen his tape. And again, to me, I think his greatest impact would be as an edge rusher, but maybe, teams might see him otherwise. And I'm sure teams see him at some point, if not right from day one, as someone you can move around, as a versatile piece, depending on whether you're in your base defense, whether you're in your sub front, what's the down and distance, all those other things. I'm sure that he'll be seen as a versatile piece.
Greg Cosell of NFL Films is kind enough to lead off the show with us. They're making the rounds with the shrimp cocktail from St. Elmo's.
Oh boy,
as is a Friday tradition.
You know what?
I think I might abstain today.
I'm gonna lay off that. There's just something about sweating heavily when I'm eating that doesn't work for me.
I think, at least some people have the presence of mind to not subject themselves and others to that experience.
Right.
My stomach is in a very fragile place after the last couple of days. I don't think I'm going to test it this afternoon, though I'm sure Robert and Lucas grabbed a couple on their way to go talk to quarterbacks and wide receivers who are speaking at the podium today. Just quickly, Greg, before we continue to talk about guys who tested yesterday, I'd be remiss if I didn't get your thoughts on the trade from a system fit with T'Vondre Sweat being sent from the Titans to the New York Jets in exchange straight up for Jermaine Johnson. Contractually, it's a deal that there is 1 year left for Jermaine Johnson on his contract.
Rookie deal, yeah.
But I'm just curious your thoughts on the player that Jermaine Johnson is, understanding what Robert Saleh wants to do up front.
It's funny. I remember watching Johnson coming out of Florida State, and I really liked him. He was big, he was violent, he was physical. He's not a bender, but he could rush the quarterback with power. And his career's, had some ups and downs. He's been hurt, far too much. Obviously, he's been, you got to be on the field. But in some ways, there's not a lot of downside, Buck, because quite frankly, you and I discussed this, not on the air, just talking ball, that T'Vondre Sweat was not likely to be the kind of player that was going to fit the Robert Saleh, front structure. So they got rid of a player that was could have been cut, and got a player that has there's something there with Johnson, okay? It hasn't happened yet, no question. I'm not going to sit here and say, man, this guy's a great player, but he's got pretty strong traits. I think as far as being an edge player in this system, that he can do that. Now, he's got to stay on the field. He's got to be healthy. I'm sure he's healthy now. It's the offseason. But it's a good move. You're only paying him for 1 year. If he comes in and blows it up and fits the system and has a great year, then you worry about what you want to do next.
Yeah.
But, it's not a big financial commitment, and it's a player that kind of fits Saleh's defensive front structure, whereas T'Vondre Sweat does not.
And I think this is, maybe a conversation that we can have in the coming weeks and months because, of course, free agency still lies ahead. There's a lot of different personnel decisions to be made here. But I wonder if you think that simply the acquisition of Jermaine Johnson, who right now, Greg, with the players that they have under contract, he's their best edge guy.
Right.
at this point in time.
And they needed. See, that's the other thing. They needed one.
Yeah.
So again, Myles Garrett was not available. So if people are thinking, well, Johnson, he's not that great. Well, up to this point, he's been in and out of the lineup so much that it's hard to get a read on what he could be. So yes, are you getting a maybe? Of course you are. But that's why a trade like this gets made, because theoretically both teams, the Jets and the Titans, are getting maybes. But the maybe for the Titans fits how they play, whereas the other maybe that was traded away does not.
Yeah, and I think that the conversation that it's tough for us to answer, and maybe close to impossible to answer right now, is how much it would change the conversation for Mike Borgonzi and his staff at 4 versus like my initial reaction, Greg, was I'd still be comfortable with them adding, one of these edge guys, the edge guy that they feel the most comfortable with, without, saying, Jermaine Johnson, okay, we've got an edge. Let's see what else.
As you know, Buck, you've been doing this long enough to know you never have enough, and every team will tell you this, you never have enough edge pass rushers and you never have enough corners.
Yeah.
So if there's a guy at 4 that they really like, and by the way, I might be available because my shirts are 34, 35-inch arm length, so I'd be good to go.
Yeah, pretty good arm length. Pretty good arm length. I think Ruben Bain would trade you in a heartbeat if he could, just to get some of this heat off.
Right. But I mean, the point is, if there's an edge player at 4 that they really like, I don't think they'd say, well, we're fine on the edge, we don't need him.
Yeah.
I think they would still go for that.
So who were some of the guys going into yesterday's drills that obviously you've watched the tape, but you were curious to see some of the workouts from?
Because I haven't gotten through a lot of guys, to be honest. I've seen some of the main guys.
Sure.
But I tell you who I thought, and again, this has nothing to do with the Titans now. We're just talking, what happened yesterday. I tell you, I watched him last summer just because he had high tackle numbers, which, of course, he did this year. But I thought Jacob Rodriguez really looked good.
Yeah.
Because, when you watch his tape, he's very, very good. He's one of those sort of key and diagnose players, sees it the right way. Didn't necessarily think he was a great athlete on tape. Like, in many ways, I saw him as, if people remember this player from last year's draft, I saw him as stylistically like Carson Schwarzenegger, but just not as good an athlete. Guy who just saw it right and played. I hate the word instincts, but that's what people use. But I thought athletically he tested very well and really looked good. And then there were some other linebackers, and now I can't remember all of them because it seemed like all of them were good.
Yeah.
The guy I'm anxious to see, and I don't know anything about him, is Mason Rieger from Wisconsin. I thought he looked very good in the testing. He's an edge player. Because don't forget, maybe they don't go edge at 4, and then you still want to get an edge somewhere in the draft, and because I'm not anywhere near there as far as thinking what these guys are in a draft, but Mason Rieger just looks the part, and I thought he tested really well.
I was a little disappointed to hear that Jermod McCoy would not be doing any testing.
Yeah.
Today, today is when he is.
The
he
DBs
and
are
the DBs are scheduled to go. He spoke to the media yesterday, and again, Greg, he's got tape from a year ago, but I
watched him.
And a good
last
player.
Summer, I liked him.
Yeah.
I liked him. When I watched tape last summer, he and Terrell really stood out to me, the Clemson corner.
Yeah.
Those two guys were sort of neck and neck in my sense of, who do you like better? Maybe on Tuesday I liked one guy better. On Wednesday I liked the other guy better. I thought they really stood out. McCoy's bigger than Terrell. And I know all the numbers are in now. I was just looking before we started talking. On the NFL Draft Network site, they had all the heights and weights. It's a big corner class. But, I think one point that needs to be made, and I guarantee a lot of people are going to be talking about it today, is this is a draft where the best players, in my view anyway, and I think it's pretty universal, are not necessarily at those premium positions. So that's going to be discussed in draft rooms. I mean, there's a lot of people that think, I would never take a running back in the first round. So are you going to take a much lesser player over Jeremiah Love just because you wouldn't take a running back in the first round? Sonny Styles is an off-the-ball linebacker. Are you going to take a lesser player over Sonny Styles just because, off-the-ball linebacker isn't viewed as a premium position? So I think that conversation's going to be had. And I don't know, each team might come up with a different, answer to the test, so to speak. But the better players, the guys who I guarantee are going to have higher grades, are not going to be at the premium positions.
Well, and it's kind of one draft that I remember that kind of signified a similar theme was when the Detroit Lions took Jahmyr Gibbs and Jack Campbell.
Yes.
And
everybody said they're out of their minds, and both guys are great players.
And they also hit on the other rookies in that class.
Right.
They had, I think Laporta was also a part of that.
That's correct.
They had a number of different key contributors right out of the gate that helped justify maybe non-premium positions in the slots that they took them. But, Greg, it's just so much about team build. Where are you as far as your construction of the roster goes, to where if you're in a position to take a running back and an off-ball linebacker in that situation, and that's the position that you need, I don't think that teams are going to overthink it that much.
And you know what? You make a great point. At some point, you got to get better as a team. I'm not saying the Titans are going to take Sonny Styles, but let's say they do. And Cedric Gray's tape was very good this year, and there's no question he's a really good run player. So let's say Gray and Styles are your two linebackers, your two stack backers. And I'm not going to sit here right now and say if that's the case, boy, they're the two best stack backers in the league. It's unbelievable. But you could then make a case, assuming Styles becomes what everybody thinks he will become. And I did hear from some people that he was as good an interview that they've ever done. You know, that he's just an unbelievable kid. That, you know, what if all of a sudden you have the best stacked linebacker duo in the league? You know, no one's going to say, oh, but they should have taken another guy at 4. I mean, you know, you're trying to build a team here and be a good football team. You know, once guys get to the league, you kind of lose sight of where they're drafted if they're really good players. The idea is not to win some abstract sense of what the draft is. The idea is to get better as a football team.
Yes, absolutely. Greg Cosell of NFL Films here with us. We're doing a follow-up install after we did a little bit of an install episode earlier in the week. Cosell hanging out here with us at the Indianapolis NFL Scouting Combine as the shrimp cocktail continues to bounce from table to table in ways that are ominous.
I know.
At this point, I just had Greg's got Lucas and Robert's sample in front of him. I'm trying to keep the horseradish away from him.
Yeah.
Wide receivers, we touched on a little bit on Wednesday, and we talked specifically about the way that this draft is going to break up. We'll see if there ends up being 3 guys who are most discussed in the first round.
You know what? I think you're going to see, because of the nature of this draft, you're going to see 3-4 wide receivers go in the first round for sure.
Yeah.
That's going to happen. And you may even see two of them go in the top 10 or 12. That is going to happen. Now, I've watched 12 of them, including those guys that are being talked about. I don't see those guys at that level, but this is a draft like, you know, every draft is its own entity. You know, you can talk abstractly about, just like we were, about, position value or this and that. But in this particular draft, you're going to see receivers get drafted in the first round that, based on my evaluation, would not have a first-round grade. I don't necessarily do that, as you know, but if I really had to put a grade on these wide receivers, I would. Even if I put a first-round grade on him, it would be late first round. It wouldn't really be, you know, top 10. And that could easily happen.
I'd like to ask you about one of them in particular, in Carnell Tate from Ohio State. Just what from your tape study separates him from what the other guys who may also be first-round picks can do in this class?
Carnell Tate's big. I think he's got some physicality to him. He worked the middle of the field pretty well at Ohio State. He caught a lot of balls there. I think because of his size and stride length, there's a vertical dimension to his game. Now, I have no idea what he's going to run. Believe me, if he runs 4.4 or less, and I don't know what he will, then people will see him as a legit top 10 pick in the draft, which he might be anyway. I mean, given this draft, he could be the chosen 5th, 6th, 7th, no problem at all. But I'm saying in terms of the way then people see him, if he runs really well, people will say, wow, this guy is a potential big-time player. But he did make a lot of vertical catches at Ohio State. He's got that, you know, that ability to work inside. If I had to pick a number 1 receiver prospect in this draft, and I've done 12 of them, he would be my number 1.
Okay. That's it seems that's where most people's analysis is at this point in time. I was just curious to get your thoughts.
Yeah, he'd be my number 1.
And for the audience, when we do the install moving forward for the next couple of months, we'll obviously do more specific positional previews as we go along,
Right.
leading up to the draft. Of course, culminating in the draft, and then we'll have the live install. I was setting some things in place yesterday for the live show, Greg,
Beautiful.
which we're very excited about on
Good.
May the 1st when Cosell will join us in Nashville. What's the rest of your day look like?
Well, I got having lunch with a coach. I actually had breakfast with a coach this morning, and my head is spinning. I felt like it was like my first day when I was back in college in constitutional law class, and like I had no idea what the professor was talking about.
What was the
I
topic that sent you spinning?
No, I knew that what the defensive coach was talking about,
Okay.
but it was just unbelievable information, one on top of the other. I came away and I was like, oh my God, I hope I can remember half of this stuff because it was so great that I wish I could have gone like right into my office at Films and put on tape, one of those.
Yeah.
So, and then of course after all that, I'm going to go in the dome and watch the DBs and the tight ends work out.
Well, we always appreciate your work, buddy. It's great to see you in person.
Yeah, it's always good.
We don't do it often enough, of course, but we'll have Greg back in Nashville before long, and have a great rest of your combine. Greg.
All right, you too, and you know what? Our Hoosiers, I don't know, Buck.
At least I have an ally. The rest of them just
yeah.
are happy to see my basketball team lose and point and laugh at me.
I don't know, Buck. It's tough.
There's always next March.
Who they got this weekend?
They got Michigan State. It's not going to get any better.
Oh boy.
But it's our Hoosiers, Greg. We're united.
Michigan State beat Purdue last night.
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
And Purdue.
And as I recall, I think Purdue kind of beat Indiana recently, didn't they?
I enjoyed our visit until just now. Greg Cosell of NFL Films, kind enough to make some time for us. We'll catch up with you soon, Greg.
All right,
Thank
thanks,
you, brother. We'll continue our coverage from Indianapolis. Coming up next, some quarterback podium takeaways. Diego Pavia did speak today. You'll hear from him. I'm Buck Rising. It's 104.5 The Zone. The Tennessee Men's Clinic is here to help you like they've helped so many other guys over the course of the last more than a decade at multiple locations in Middle Tennessee, because you've got one life and it's too short for not nows, maybe laters, and tomorrows. If you're noticing issues with ED or performance, then your relationships, your confidence, and even your career may already have been affected. Online folks promise convenience and discretion, but their treatments are generic, some even unsafe. Guys, no more excuses. The Tennessee Men's Clinic is the state's first men's health-focused urology practice, with multiple urologists and providers focused solely on male performance. No unproven snake oil or peptides without solid research. Since 2014, they've pioneered men's health in Tennessee and have been testing and growing to make sure you get the best care and the safest, most effective treatments. Call 615-208-9090 right now. That's 615-208-9090, or book online in under 30 seconds at TennesseeMen'sClinic.com. Welcome back to the show, fueled by Hattie B's Hot Chicken, the best hot chicken in the world. We got Robert and Lucas off gallivanting around the Combine podium availability. Lucas is going to go grab some audio and video from Vols quarterback Joey Aguilar. Robert is also getting a few of the wide receiver availabilities so we can continue to hear from guys at the Combine. We do have, Ross, I think this is worthy of laser light show imaging. We do have a little bit of breaking NFL news. So, the NFL just put this out. Officially, the Cowboys have placed the franchise tag on George Pickens. So a wide receiver that I know at least some Titans fans had a level of interest in. We knew it was trending in this direction, and we knew when Jerry Jones said something to the effect of they wanted to make him a Cowboy for the long term, that in all likelihood, Jerry Jones was not going to let a stud wide receiver leave the building. So they keep George Pickens on the tag. The question is going to be, how does he respond to that as somebody who had an excellent season the way that he did? Is that something that is just being used as a tool as they continue to work towards a long-term deal and just wanted to make sure that they had that team control under lock and key? And will George Pickens respond in kind and work with them, or will this, bring a little bit of petulance into the situation? I was talking to a former NFL player about contracts and what that can do to a player's perspective, a player's mindset. Even if you are a highly productive player, even if you are an incredibly team-centric person, it's impossible to not let the money and the negotiations impact you in some way, shape, or form. This particular former player had given some thought to representing himself in contract negotiations, and had a relative who worked in the NFL at the time advise him against the idea of self-representation, because those are some conversations that are very, very difficult to have. When you have a team that you care about, that you want to play for, that you want to stay with, a city that you love, and maybe you love the coaches, you appreciate the front office structure, you like your teammates, you like your setup, but you have a figure that you expect to make at whatever position it is that you want to make. And you go into a negotiation either with your representation or without them, and you say, no, this is the number that I deserve to get for the work that I've put in. This is what I value myself at. This is what you should value me at as well. And say that number is just, we'll go regardless of position. Let's say that number is $8 million. But the team that either your representation or you are negotiating with says, nah, you're $6. You're $6 million, and that's it. That's the ceiling that we've got for you. No matter how well you've done for us, no matter how reliable you've been, our number for your position, it's 6 flat, bud. No matter how much better you think you are than that, or what you think that you deserve relative to what you see elsewhere around the league, your number for us is 6. How are you going to handle that conversation? How's George Pickens going to handle the idea that he doesn't have a long-term deal yet at money that I imagine he has a pretty good idea of what he should be making or could make in this particular situation, and the Cowboys decide, no, you're not going to hit the open market to push that value even higher. We're going to keep you here for now, bud. Just sit tight, and we promise we'll take care of you. Now, in the case of Jerry Jones, I think Jerry more often than not follows through on those situations. But you're also dealing with a negotiator in Jerry Jones that doesn't like dealing with agents and representation in that way and wants to deal directly with the player. Sometimes those things can get a little complicated. But that is the latest news as far as the wide receiver market goes. Now that, it keeps with the theme of not seeing the best available players when these free agent lists come out actually end up hitting the free agent market. So now you're back in the business, and maybe you were thinking of this the entire time. You're back in the business of, well, is Alec Pierce going to hit the free agent market, or will Indy make a decision on the 25-year-old? He'll be 26 next season. Will they make a decision on him? Like, no. We also think that we value the best deep threat in the NFL last year enough to pay him, his average annual value market projection is a little north of $20 million a year. Alec Pierce is probably going to make more than that. I certainly would imagine he would make more than that should he hit the open market. But is Indy actually going to get or let Alec Pierce test his value that way? You're back in the business of Juwan Jennings or Wan'Dale Robinson. I mean, I guess Deebo Samuel is also an unrestricted free agent heading into this season, which will be interesting. The 33-year-old, soon-to-be 33-year-old Mike Evans. Like, this is the free agent wide receiver caliber that you're talking about, and that's at the very top. Those are not the places that I think a team like Tennessee should invest overwhelming capital on, financial capital on, when they do have some options here in the draft. It's interesting to get Cosell's perspective. With the interesting to get Cosell's perspective on Carnell Tate, and that if Greg were to tier these guys the way that a lot of draft analysts do, that would be the closest thing to a wide receiver one that would be out there and available in this year's coming draft class. But is that worthy of number 4 overall, given the other positional needs that the Titans have? Robert has returned back from his Big J journalism scouting. Did you already eat your shrimp? Okay, don't eat your shrimp yet. I have something that we need to. No. Okay. I just want to make sure that we're all on the same page because we're going to have you and Lucas, Lady and the Tramp, some St. Elmo's shrimp at some point here in just a second. Are you doing Big J journalism today, or are you going to do what Lucas did and just try and use various excuses to leave the show?
Well, I saw you were over there. Is this loud enough, Kirby? What do you think? A little bit? Oh, yeah, that's good.
Sound lovely.
God, I love the sound of my own voice.
Yes, I've noticed that more and more this week.
Chris Brazel was a little late getting to the podium, which was nice because Joey Aguilar got up, so all the Vols people went to him. I was right at the front. I got to ask him about the Tennessee offense. He noted a misconception. We'll probably get the audio to Ross to play that at some point. Also asked him about the opportunity to stay in Tennessee and play with Cam Ward, and would be excited about that prospect.
And play with Cam Ward?
Yes, if he stayed in Tennessee.
Joey Aguilar?
No, Chris Brazel, Gooby.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, what? It's like you've been up for 4 days. What are you doing? Is something wrong? Is something wrong? Is your head hood?
Is it RFK that had that brain worm or whatever?
And then he cured it with bleach? I have no idea.
something to that effect.
Zero idea.
After 4 days, 5 days in Indy, I feel like I have my brain is slowly being eaten away by whatever tapeworm we caught at Tin Roof last night.
Yeah, I felt kind of bad this morning, and then I didn't feel bad at all because we kind of been busting our hump a little bit this week. And I thought I deserved a little second nap.
Well, I'm happy that you did. Yeah, Chris Brazel is an interesting. So right now we feel that that's squarely a day 2 guy, right? There's no and we'll see what he does as far as testing, but it feels like for the most part the 3 wide receivers that are being talked about in the first round, Chris Brazel is not one of them.
Well, it's interesting you note that, and I didn't get to hear you and Greg's conversation, but while I was talking with Greg before the show, we were kind of talking about the overall health of the class and how things can change depending on how many first-round grades, something we've had a conversation about in previous weeks. And Greg noted that he's like, there's probably going to be 2 or 3 wide receivers that go in the first round that are not first-round quality wide receivers. Obviously, there's only 8 to 10 first-round grades, but you're going to see guys that are being thought out perennially through the draft process as, oh, he's a day 2 guy, that are going to slip in because he's a size speed guy, or in a Zachariah Branch's case, or in a Omar Cooper Jr. case. Like, all of them are different shape, different size, different speed, different receivers. So if there's a body type guy that you need and he fits what you're going to do better than any of these other guys, you might as well snag him because, again, this is not a deep draft. This is a deep draft for things you can add to your roster, but not necessarily star power. So I think it wouldn't surprise me if some team fell in love with Chris or fell in love with one of the Omar Cooper Jr., one of these guys that they feel like they can get the most out of.
Yeah, I guess I haven't gotten into enough yet the idea of, all right, which prospect will a team target that way that surprises us in a meaningful way, the way that Bo Nix did. Bo Nix is the example that gets brought up a lot. Michael Penix, in a very unique situation a couple of years ago, same draft, gets brought up a lot. But which player going to what team will be the surprise of the draft in a way that common, the common dialogue or the analyst dialogue around them wouldn't indicate that they would be the 15th pick or maybe the 20th pick, depending on how these teams value. Who's that offensive lineman that the Patriots took in the first round, and McVay and Les Snead were laughing at them about a couple of years ago?
Cole Strange.
Cole
Strange. Jinx, you owe me a kiss, Ross. Give me a
Cole.
kiss through the mic. Kiss me through the phone. Oh, great. I love that.
Oh, was that reciprocated?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I thought that was just you.
No, I
kissing
just
yourself.
echoed Bert's kiss on purpose.
Yeah, okay. Very
Ross
good.
has done an exceptional job this week. The least I could do is kiss him through the microphone.
Well, he's saying that because he wants to leave you back in that small, dark room now that he's tasted freedom. It's like trying to put the genie back in the bottle.
No one tells you how hard it is to go from this to back in that dark, dingy room. No eyeballs on you. No one to tell you that you're blimp-shaped. It's just sad.
People in the
Smelly.
FNM Bank chat, yeah. Well, there's you all know that the smell is because of you, right? Like it is. You complain about the smell, and yet the smell is directly correlated with the people that exist in that room.
It hasn't been as smelly this week, ironically.
Oh.
I wonder why.
I retroactively take my kiss back.
By the way, we started the show with Greg, so I neglected to remind you that you can participate in the show via the FNM Bank chat, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch is how you can get involved if you want to chime in on thoughts about the quarterbacks and wide receivers in this draft as they speak today. 615-737-1045. Many people who are already populating in the FNM Bank chat are curious about your choice of title for the show today, where it just says Combine's dead, baby. Combine's dead.
Okay.
Also, your punctuation on that indicates that there is a dead baby at the Combine.
Well, I filled that out when I was coming back from Tin Roof last night.
Yeah, 3 in the morning.
If you're familiar,
that was his attempt to get Kirby to stop talking about whatever Kirby was talking about, is just start staring at his laptop like he was trying to do work.
In Pulp Fiction, before Bruce Willis drives off in his motorcycle with his girl in his sidecar, she asks him a question, and he goes, Zed's dead, baby. Zed's dead. And that is the canonical, like the real line ending of the movie. So I kind of made it in the Combine. I was feeling myself last night.
Oh,
So you didn't want to submit a new one so we don't have to subject the audience to Pulp Friction? Pulp Friction sounds awesome.
Pulp Friction.
That sounds like that's an incredible bar name. Tell me you wouldn't go to Pulp Friction.
Pulp Friction is what you were doing when you were feeling yourself last night, as far as I could tell. Yeah.
Ooh.
We actually have a professional journalist. Jim Wyatt is wandering around. Lucas has secured him, so we'll talk to Jimmy coming up next about all the things that are going on with the Combine, Titans related. I'm Buck Rising. It's 104.5 The Zone. No one wants to deal with a plumbing, HVAC, or electrical emergency. Most of the time, you don't know what it will cost or if it'll get fixed correctly, or if someone is just trying to sell you something. That's when you call Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical. Their experts are going to solve your problems quickly, and the price you're told is the price you'll actually pay. There's no hidden fees or surprises on your bill. Hiller has been in business for over 35 years. They're family owned and operated. Their techs are professional, experienced, and trustworthy. When they're on their way, you'll receive a photo of the tech and a link to track them in real time. No more wasting time waiting around. 100% satisfaction guaranteed of happy you'll be or the service is free. That is the Happy Hiller promise. So visit them online today at happyhiller.com. Welcome back to the show here at the NFL Scouting Combine. Robert Walsh is a fake journalist, fake news only, coming from his Twitter profile where he's begging me, pleading me for retweets.
I'm sorry, what makes him fake?
Because one combine and he's turned into a clout monster. No. You're not doing the Kirby thing where you talk to me off of a headphone.
I don't see you asking any questions.
Vulture. That's because somebody actually has to do the radio show after you took a whole day off yesterday. Jim Wyatt is here, TennesseeTitans.com. Jimmy, I'm so sorry that we're asking you to participate.
Well, I appreciate you having me on here.
So sweet, so diplomatic. Yeah, it's been a busy week. It's always a busy week at the Combine. We were just hearing from quarterbacks and wide receivers. They will continue to talk. We'll have defensive backs test today. Jimmy, I assume you were over there for Pavia. I'm sure you had a good spot. When you heard Diego Pavia ask questions, obviously as a Vanderbilt fan and following his entire career, what were you looking to find out from Diego today?
Yeah, I just what his it was funny. He went to the wrong podium initially.
I saw that.
saw that, and
long week for everybody, I guess.
And but just to see how he would kind of carry himself. Obviously, he comes here with a lot of questions, more about his, some of the drama that surrounded him after the Heisman Trophy. Presentation and everything that came of that.
I've forgiven him, by the way.
Yes, but I was just curious to see what his attitude would be, just how dug in, he'd be on some of that stuff. I thought he did a good job. Like he's a baller. That's one thing you can say about him. You can question some of his off-field stuff and some of the attention he's brought on himself and his confidence. That's who he is. That's who he says he is. He's not trying to hide from any of that. That's just the Diego Pavia who grew up with a chip on his shoulder as a kid who was never big enough, and a lot of people didn't think he was worthy enough to play in the SEC or to play at a high level. So he continues to get asked questions about that. I thought he handled himself well. Now he's just got to convince people here that he can play. His size obviously is going to be a big issue for him as he tries to get his foot in the door in the league, and I'll be curious to see whether that's going to be as a draft pick or as an undrafted free agent.
One of the many things that Jimmy does for TennesseeTitans.com, especially this time of year, are the mock draft roundups, which will be done on a weekly basis.
Every Monday from here on out, I plan on doing them.
Mock Draft Mondays.
Yep. Mock Draft Monday. We also grift off Jimmy's mock draft roundup because, of course, Wyatt is the one doing the hard work, and we're just there to pick up whatever falls off the Jim Wyatt tree. But
I'm sorry, did you read his most recent mock draft roundup?
No,
you didn't.
I did not.
No, it's funny. You don't seem equipped to be asking this question. Jim, were you surprised that your most recent mock draft roundup did not have a single offensive player mocked to the Titans at number 4?
Yeah, but I think that's going to change. That's the thing about these mock draft roundups is that they're almost hate to say it, but they're almost a waste of time to do now just because everything's changing in free agency and everything's going to change when you start having trades like the one that was reported yesterday, because now I think some people are going to think, oh, the Titans may be good at edge, and maybe that's not a need at number 4. I don't necessarily subscribe to that theory. I still think that pick is in play, but I have a feeling on Monday when I do this, you're going to see some other picks in there aside from these edge rushers, which maybe it's Jeremiah Love, maybe it's Caleb Downs, obviously a defensive player, but could be viewed as the best player in this draft by some. And but I don't know that you'll see. That's the thing about the receivers. Like, this team has a lot of needs from receiver to cornerback to edge to now center, but some of these guys in this draft are not worthy of 4. So I think you might start seeing people have the Titans trading back, picking other positions too.
How similar does that feel to, and I don't know how much you recall this draft, but 2017 with Corey Davis at 5. This feels kind of a similar situation where they have needs, but maybe, and they ended up taking Corey, whether or not Corey was worthy of the 5th overall pick in that draft. I think there's some debate to be had there given their glaring need at wide receiver that year. But at least, Jimmy, the dialogue around them at 4 and what is available for them kind of feels similar.
I think that's a good call. Yeah, I think that is true. And what they do with it, I think we're going to get some strong hints coming up here starting on March the 11th. What they do in free agency, I think, will kind of give us an idea of what they may do with that pick, how much they might be willing to trade out to get more draft capital. I'm going to mention Love's name again. I mean, Love intrigues me so much. I think a lot of people that I've gathered just from talking to people, listening to people here, is that some people have him as the best prospect in this draft. Mendoza obviously is going 1. I'd be shocked if he doesn't go 1. But how early does Love go? And I think a lot of people feel like because of the trade that, again, that's been reported, Titans won't confirm it until March the 11th when these guys pass physicals. But I think a lot of people think the Jets are going to go edge rusher at 2 now, which puts somebody like Love in play starting at 3. And anywhere he would deliver a one-liner. Kirby, you're old enough
you're
to
speaking
remember
Kirby's
Stanley
language.
Roper, but Stanley Roper would always tell a joke, and then he'd look at the camera and smile. That's my favorite GIF out there. Anytime I'm happy about something or have a funny one-liner, I'll always respond with that Stanley Roper GIF, and so much so that somebody will say, I knew you were getting ready to send that damn GIF again. I use it so much. I don't use a lot of GIFs, but I've probably used that. I've used that one. If I've sent out 100 GIFs, I've used that one 85 times.
A dad joke connoisseur at Jay Wyatt Sports, hanging out here with us on 104.5.
It is GIF in it.
Hey, I was about to say, and a man who knows how it is correctly pronounced
yes,
as well.
Robert seething over there as a GIF believer.
What did you make generally of the Sweat for Jermaine Johnson trade and what it could mean for this Robert Saleh defense and how the Titans are approaching the offseason?
Yeah, it's funny. I've had conversations with a lot of the Jets guys, and and they also have approached me of, hey, what are the Jets getting into T'Vondre Sweat? And it seems like, to me, it's a perfect situation for both teams just to give another guy a fresh start and see if a change of scenery helps. Everybody says that Jermaine Johnson loves Robert Saleh and that Robert Saleh loves Jermaine Johnson, and he got the most out of him. Sounded like he obviously he was coming off an injury, but then sounded like I hate to use the word miserable because I can't speak for Jermaine Johnson, but it didn't sound like he was real happy in New York last year. And
It's a safe assumption.
yeah, and so I think him coming to Nashville is going to help jumpstart his career again, and I think he's a really good player. I was not surprised when I saw that news that T'Vondre was traded. I actually thought, and again, I've got to be careful because this is not official yet, work for the team. These physicals have got to be passed. You won't see anything on TennesseeTitans.com on this till March the 11th. I would think that's the day we'll announce it, as long as there are no holdups. But
Sure.
I think when I was not surprised to see T'Vondre Sweat news that he was being traded. The return is better than I thought it would be. I mean, because I just don't think Sweat is a great fit in this new defense. I think that he frustrated people just because he always left people wanting more. T'Vondre obviously had some issues with his weight. Could have done maybe more to help himself be better positioned to be successful. That didn't happen. Now, while Jermaine Johnson has a chance for a fresh start in Tennessee, same goes for T'Vondre Sweat. And maybe something like this happening will get his attention and make him realize, hey, just because I was picked 38th in the draft and just because I'm a physical specimen, just because I've got great athleticism doesn't guarantee me anything. And he better get after it because he will be scrutinized a lot more in New York than he even was in Nashville. And a great guy. We all liked him. It's fun to sit around. It's fun to talk to. And
not a bad
kid.
person at all. It's one of those things where this is a highly competitive industry, and when you are picked 38th overall, you're expected to produce at a more consistent and higher level than T'Vondre Sweat was producing.
Right. And you got a guy like Jeffrey Simmons who I think tried to help him and take him under his wing and show him the way. And again, it's hard to match what Jeffrey Simmons does. He's just a relentless worker. He's all about football. He wants to be good. He wants people to be around him to be good. And you can't make a guy want it. And
but you can't pass on those opportunities if somebody like Jeff on multiple occasions is reaching out that way, Jimmy. Because it got a lot of play this most recent locker room cleanout day. But it's not the first time that Jeff has been like, come to Dallas.
I know, and that's why I didn't say a word about that. I have to be honest with you. Like last year when there was talk about those two working out together, I wrote about it, and then it didn't happen. And then so when it came up this year, I said I'm not going to waste a type of word on this until it actually happens. And of course, it's not going to happen now unless I think they'll still be buddies. I think Jeff would help T'Vondre any way possible, but T'Vondre's going to have to do some of this stuff on his own.
At Jay Wyatt Sports, the great one, Jim Wyatt, hanging out here with us. Jimmy, thank you for wasting some of your time with us. Now go and do journalism.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me. We got Jeremiah Love coming up, and then you can look for this headline that's going to be coming out here about hopefully around 1:30.
I'm so disappointed to already know what the headline on TennesseeTitans.com is going to be, but that's why we love them. Thank you, Jimmy.
Thanks, Jim. You have a good one.
Second hour coming up next, live from Indianapolis. It's 104.5 The Zone.
It is 12:02. Good afternoon from the NFL Scouting Combine in Indianapolis. I'm Lucas Panzica. 11:02 back home in Nashville. Quarterbacks meeting with the media today in Indy. Workouts got underway yesterday at Lucas Oil Stadium, and Ohio State linebacker Sonny Styles stole the show. A 4.46 40 and a 43.5 vertical, the best among the linebacker position. College hoops action this weekend. Tennessee is back home hosting Alabama at 5 p.m. Vol Network coverage on the Zone begins at 4:30. Vanderbilt hits the road to Rupp Arena, taking on Kentucky with a 1 p.m. tip-off. Nashville Soccer Club is on the road at FC Dallas Saturday. Kickoff is at 7:30 p.m. Pre-game coverage on the Zone begins at 7. For all your foundation repairs and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Welcome back here in Indianapolis. The NFL Scouting Combine rolls on. 615-737-1045 is the number if you want to jump in. We've got the entire show here for once, I think for the first time in like 3 days.
Shut up.
Have the three of you decided to be in the same place at once?
Oh, God forbid the guy
do
who
your
does.
jobs.
God forbid the guy who does the least amount of work wants to complain about some. The show that bears my name. Someone's not here to do it with me. Oh,
Do it for me.
now eat it.
I'm not even to the point of with anymore. I'm just like, just do it for me.
Well, I continually reap the benefits.
Correct. It's a great business model. You should try it sometime. No, we will get to quarterback takeaways here in just a second because Lucas and Robert have been very helpful in going to podiums while we've been on the air because a lot of the players are speaking today. You heard Wyatt mention that Jeremiah Love, the running back, among other players, running backs will also speak to the media today. Jeremiah Love is going to be a popular figure at Combine medium availability. Do we know how much he is participating in all the drills, is my understanding.
As far as we know, I don't know. A lot of times these players will step up to the podium and kind of announce what their intention is. Like Joey Aguilar got up there, said he's just going to work out at his pro day, and we didn't know that before. So we will see. A lot of eyes will be on the Notre Dame running back.
Yes, so we will do some quarterback takeaways here in just a second, but it seems that the two of you have shrimp
Now, how are we doing this?
to eat.
Well, I think it should be.
For those of you watching on Zone TV,
I was gonna
if
say,
you have not yet tuned in to Zone TV,
how are we doing this
Facebook,
bit that does nothing for the radio
YouTube,
audience?
Twitter, and Twitch? Well, I'm going to say that every year on Friday, the NFL Combine receives a visit from St. Elmo's Steakhouse, where a couple of their wait staff brings around samples, individual shrimp with individual dousings of the famous St. Elmo's cocktail sauce for the media and various people at the Combine to enjoy. So we have each one of you a shrimp. Kirby was good to secure them. They've been sitting there for about 20 minutes.
It's a big-ass shrimp. I've eaten shrimp and grits out of the break room that have been sitting in 92Q studios all morning. It doesn't bother me a bit.
Yeah.
So I think for people who have not experienced the St. Elmo's shrimp, I think that they could have the opportunity to witness now on Zone TV, the two of you sampling some for yourselves.
Well, yeah, and we already kind of did this. If you'd like to go check my Twitter out, Robbie, ROBBY_Walsh. A lot of good content from the weekend. Already ate one, but we're going to do it again today for the Zone TV audience.
Yes, it's the sad timeline with videos that have one or two retweets on them because he's begging. Eat your shrimp. So we're going in.
What's the deal here? What's happening?
I'm going to feed you, and you're going to feed me.
Yeah, you're gonna
we're
lock
just gonna,
arms like a
like, you know,
champagne
Take a one
toast.
little bite?
The whole thing.
The whole
dude.
thing?
The whole
No.
thing.
In fact, Madeline Burke is here to be our witness as the two of you sample this shrimp live on air together.
Just don't let it hit the
All
microphone.
right, ready? This is very romantic what's happening here. We can't quite Lady in the Tramp.
Have you
this.
not ever done the champagne toast? This is
Nobody's
not how
going
it's
to
done.
enjoy this.
This is going to be very convoluted. The two of you are
I
going
don't
to
think
we
end
wrap
up.
our arms around?
Do we?
They're going to end
And then we
up
feed ourselves?
then we just feed ourselves.
with
okay.
cocktails. Oh, yes. Excellent.
Heck yeah.
That sound you
The
hear.
ASMR.
Oh, at my nose. Oh, my nose.
The
Mukbang.
worst kind of ASMR humanly possible.
Lord.
The sound of snot and horseradish and shrimp.
That was a big-ass shrimp.
I didn't get it so bad. It was good.
Heard some of the tin roof stuff in those bites.
Yeah. There was a lot of congestion from tin
that-
roof being cleared.
Folks
that bite.
folks that are just tuning in when we're in Indy have to be so sick of hearing about the shrimp cocktail.
Yeah, that's right.
Right? Like, don't care about the shrimp cocktail.
They had
Tell us
Mike's-
about the prospect.
They sent Mike Silver to do a whole piece
I saw that.
on St. Elmo's for social media.
Some guys have all the luck.
It has to be so annoying for folks driving around trying to hear combine coverage, and people don't just shut up about the shrimp.
The
cocktail.
shrimp is so good. Shrimp measured in at 3.5 inches, 2-inch wingspan.
Okay, just talk football, Dan.
Don't laugh at him, Mads. It only makes it worse. So yes, we have quarterback podium takeaways
Yes.
at this point in time to talk about. People are shocked to find out that we're on air doing this nonsense.
Well, first of all, anything interesting from the number 1 overall pick that nobody seems to be talking about in Fernando Mendoza?
you weren't over there. You were still asleep.
Yeah, but I saw something that.
But
probably-
he has something to say.
Yeah, it's something better than what you were going to add.
Okay, go ahead.
Did you see him being asked what the most interesting question he had been asked at the combine this year was?
Question about a question.
Yes.
Okay, no, I did not.
He was asked, so the most interesting question he had been asked, someone said, you should go get arrested.
That's not a question.
Fernando Mendoza was kind of confused, and he realized they were saying that because they would like them to fall.
Oh.
So which team told Fernando Mendoza that he should go get
The
arrested?
Jets, 100% the Jets.
Oh, they're
There's
at 2.
no
They
doubt
can
in
just
my
come
mind.
up. They've got 1 million picks. I think it's the Vikings. Look, they're not even sitting here. These guys are in front of us.
They left
bolted.
after Wednesday. Are you kidding me?
They're all over there trying to get Fernando Mendoza locked up. No one is at their table. I'm going to steal their placard and their laptops.
They're informing the Indianapolis Police Department to look for what do you think Mendoza drives? He's not whipping around in one of these.
a Subaru.
Yeah.
He's driving a Subaru hatchback. That guy,
Hatchback is the. Yeah.
See, I have
No doubt.
I have in my mind one of those 4Runners with about 200,000 miles on it. That feels like a Fernando Mendoza.
an Oldsmobile. Like an old Suburban with a big back so he can haul all his friends' stuff around.
So we all know Fernando Mendoza's fate in this draft, barring something crazy
Well,
like what one
Cosell
team's trying to make
Cosell
happen.
kind of brought up the idea maybe he isn't.
Oh, stop it, Greg. What?
I'm just saying he was just we're all assuming that he's going to be the number 1 overall pick. Maybe not. Maybe he isn't.
He wouldn't be the first one. Todd McShay's talked about that on his podcast, too. I mean, he might be a guy, but he's not the guy.
So what if that's the thing this year? And this is really the only entry point to talk about Mendoza if you're not the Raiders and that fan base. It makes all the sense in the world for the Raiders to do just what the Titans did, which is don't overthink it. Understanding that there's going to be some trade offers like from the Giants last year that are enticing and at least make you think about it. It hurts nobody to listen to offers, but we are assuming in a way that maybe is not safe that Mendoza's just a lock when we didn't even have that about Cam last year they didn't even have that about Cam last year until this very point, this touch point that we talked about. Shedeur, for whatever happened to him and however the interviews went, Shedeur was still very much in the conversation. I don't even know that we were really talking about Jackson Dart as a first-round pick last year at this time.
No, I think that started to formulate in the weeks after the combine. But, yeah, okay. I guess we'll see.
If that's the big thing, though, because I was asking, you weren't over here to start the show. I was asking who's the player that, a team is going to pick that we haven't talked about or that we think is overdrafted there or that it doesn't make sense and that Lucas is going to come through the show on Friday in a seething rage because the Falcons drafted Michael Penix 8th overall. Who is going to be that team or that player this year? What if the Raiders do the thing that absolutely nobody expects them to not take that quarterback? I know that's a double negative.
Just draft Arvell Reese or something.
I mean, just something crazy because he's not. I don't think most people have him as the best player in this NFL draft. Maybe Cam wasn't the best player in last year's NFL draft either.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's not like that has stopped teams from taking quarterbacks number one in the past.
I'm not saying that I believe that that's what's going to happen. I'm just saying that is the thing that we have not talked about at all, that the entire NFL world just seems as a layup. And every time you hear a draft analyst talk about him, it feels like it shouldn't be as big of a layup.
Well, we'll see. I'll be stunned if that's not the case, but that's what everybody expects to be the case. Meanwhile, nobody really knows where Ty Simpson is going to end up. We've talked about him having the biggest draft range probably of any quarterback here. He says he believes he's a franchise quarterback. He talked about the good start at Alabama versus some of the bumps in the road towards the back end, but Ty Simpson comes from a coach's family. Ty Simpson says all the right things. The first thing that I wanted to know was how close was he actually to mulling and taking one of those portal offers that were reported, $6 million in that range. Miami, Tennessee, Ole Miss, all vying for his services. He made it sound like it was, I'm an Alabama player through and through, no consideration to playing anywhere else in my college career. He made that very clear right off the bat. And then Diego Pavia spoke and was very measured, didn't say anything, that would
It's very disappointing.
Throw up any red flags, but he was asked about the sales pitch, right? I believe we have this, Ross, for Diego Pavia. What would you say to teams that look at 5'9" and say, no, that's not going to translate to the NFL?
Turn on the tape. It's not like we're not playing these guys that are going first round, second round on Saturdays, in the SEC. So, the SEC and the Big Ten probably have the most guys, getting drafted in the first, second round. So, we're playing those guys, and ain't nothing going to change.
So that's Diego Pavia. Ty Simpson, too, obviously a different sort of scenario. Ty Simpson considered a much better pro prospect, but he's asked about the small sample size in his career, and he talked about being on the scout team for multiple years against multiple first and second round draft picks, playing every single day at practice. So some similarities there, and I kind of agree with that with Diego Pavia. His very best tape, came against arguably the most talented defense he saw in his entire college career in that Alabama game.
So since we're sitting here at the NFL Combine and there are many people within the sound of our voices that we are annoying with our commentary on a variety of different things, our friend Madeline Burke sitting at the Giants table has texted me her tweet from Pavia's availability, and I don't know if either of you heard this, where he was asked about his maturity, and he quoted Coach Clark Lee in saying, Coach Lee always pressed that your frontal lobe isn't fully developed until you're 25. And I just turned 24.
Yeah.
So I've got like 365 days to go.
That was good. That was good.
That's why alligators are always so mad, because they got all them teeth to brush.
Medulla oblongata.
That is one smart individual. I don't think anyone said that this week. I think that guy is a secret genius.
Pavia?
Yes.
What are you, in terms of?
Just being introspective, knowing what he has, knowing what he doesn't. He's not a man who's going to shortchange himself.
Nobody else has talked about the inner anatomy.
You're
of
just
the
going to
human
bulldoze
brain.
over his short jokes? Right over your big ass head.
I need a cigarette.
So those are our quarterback takeaways.
Well,
Friday
we can hear
at
from
the Combine.
Joey Aguilar.
Yes.
Let's hear
Coming
from
up
him.
next.
No,
Not
let's
right
do
now.
it next. Next. Go to break. Somebody, please, God.
Help me.
It's truck month at Two Rivers Ford, and that means zero money down, 0% financing, and zero payments for 90 days. Only at Two Rivers Ford do you get zero surprises and zero pressure. You see, Two Rivers Ford, they do things a little differently than most dealerships. For starters, they have a non-commissioned sales team, so their salespeople are paid whether you buy a truck or not. So go ahead, ask all the questions, take all the test drives, check out the F-150, the Super Duty, the Maverick, the Ranger. Truck Month is all about you. And at Two Rivers Ford, you'll find the real price online every time. They don't add a bunch of accessories or add-ons that you don't know about until you get to the dealership. They pride themselves on honesty and transparency like they have for over 4 decades. And by the way, Two Rivers Ford has one of the best inventories of Ford trucks in the Southeast. There's Ford Truck Month and there's Two Rivers Ford Truck Month. So get to the South's most trusted Ford dealer for the best prices of the year on the best-selling truck in America. Local, honest, real. Two Rivers Ford, the South's most trusted Ford dealer.
Welcome back to the show from the NFL Scouting Combine in Indianapolis. We're here thanks to Wholesale Supply. We are always here thanks to Hattie B's Hot Chicken and to Rivers Ford, who provided the vehicle to go up to Indy and back.
Beautiful Ford Bronco.
Quarterbacks spoke this morning and are done speaking, and obviously our local ties drew us to both Diego Pavia and Joey Aguilar. We have talked about Diego Pavia. Right now, if you had to project a range for Diego Pavia, actually, instead of that, does he get drafted, yes or no? Does he hear his name called in the 200? What is it, like 256?
I've
picks?
been pretty consistent on no. I don't have any reason to move off of that right now. Like, he's going to participate in it sounds like the majority of the drills. So we'll see what work or what good effort can how that can potentially prop him up if he does well. We'll see what happens, what the conversation around Pavia is if he doesn't do so well. Obviously, the Pro Day will be an opportunity for all of these guys to do everything that they want to do in a more comfortable environment. But I like that he's willing to compete. The competitive nature of Diego Pavia is the biggest asset about him, right? It's not arm strength, it's not size, it may not be, and I couldn't speak to his level of football acumen. It sounds like he's a pretty intelligent guy dealing with, at least from a football IQ. Maybe he doesn't make some of the best decisions off the field, but it's not something, he's not, he doesn't have an arrest record or something.
That's
like
what I'm saying. Like he's just brash, right? And he says things.
Yeah.
And, like, his brothers have been arrested at his games, but Diego Pavia has never
he's clean.
been involved in an off-field, situation that is a true red flag. It's just the things that he says sometimes.
He handles the chaos because there is a bit of chaos around him, but he is not the sole source of chaos in the Pavia ecosystem.
Yeah, but he is a playmaker.
Where do you feel about that? Because as we sit here today, I'm kind of like I'd like to see more. I'd like to hear more about him from people that are actually making these
I just think he did too many good things against too many defenses loaded with NFL talent. The dude's a Heisman finalist. He's too much of a playmaker for me to say that there's no way he hears his name called. Now, I do think it's interesting, the dynamic of injecting a player like Diego Pavia with that outward underdog mentality. He was asked, in fact, by Madeline Burke, who's just walked away, he was asked if he could describe himself as an emoji, what would it be?
Nope.
And he said the shushing emoji, right? He slept on his whole career, the whole deal. That's fine, put me as the third string. I'll end up being the starter.
That's good journalism by Matt.
It is. It prompted a good answer. But I suppose the question there is, how willing will NFL teams be to inject that dynamic into their quarterback room, right? If you're drafting a guy to compete to be a backup quarterback, is that the kind of personality you want for that specific role? It's weird to say because in football, you love the guy that has all the confidence in himself and is going to come out and compete, and Pavia is going to do that. But I don't know. It's something to think about for how outward he is about, no, I'm the best quarterback here, and I'm going to show you, that kind of thing. Maybe I'm overthinking something like that.
No, I think that's fair right now. I'm just kind of sticking with my position until I see something that moves me one way or the other. He's obviously an incredibly productive college player, and that, I think, matters more than anything else that we're talking about. And I think that he acquitted himself well at the Senior Bowl. This is the thing that you can say about Pavia at every turn. At every turn, he meets the moment. I think that's a fair analysis of what his circumstance is, which is kind of right the nature of the shushing emoji, which is, okay, I will quiet you once again because I have done this, at New Mexico State. I've done this at Vanderbilt. I've done this at every opportunity where there has been doubt. And so, I think it's kind of a good situation for Pavia because he's still being doubted and he seems to enjoy that part of it.
Yeah, and he also shared a little bit on his relationship with Jared Curtis and some confidence he has for Vanderbilt moving forward. Said he and Jared talked just the other day. Of course, the 5-star quarterback that flipped from Georgia to Vanderbilt, and Jared told him, I'm going to go win the national championship that you were not able to win at Vanderbilt. So we'll see how that plays out. Meanwhile, Joey Aguilar got up there and spoke. Now, we only learned that Joey was going to be here maybe 2 weeks ago in the middle of him pursuing another year of eligibility. And had he been granted the preliminary injunction, he would still be here just in the event of there being some sort of appeal or reversal. But that did not happen. Joey Aguilar was denied, and he made it clear at the podium he is not seeking any avenues to try and appeal and continue down that path. He is completely diverting his attention to his NFL prospects. But this was Joey Aguilar when I asked him about just his reaction to being denied another year of eligibility at Tennessee.
I mean, everything happens for a reason. They granted me a TRO, so I was out there practicing like if I was coming back. So, and then the judge, declined my request. And, it is what it is. Like I said, I'm excited to pursue this next chapter of my life.
Is it almost relief that you finally have an answer and you can kind of move forward one way or the other?
For sure. Waiting around, it gets a little stressful, but, I finally got the answer that I was waiting for, and that's to pursue the NFL now, and I can put my all focus into that.
He was also able to laugh a little bit about just the hilarity of the whole situation where you've got a judge that's a season ticket holder at Tennessee. His attorney is a Knoxville native. The opposing attorney is a season ticket holder at Tennessee and a Knoxville graduate who is praising him and talking about his admiration for him. But I don't want you to be able to play another year of college football. And he kind of laughed that off, said everybody has a job to do, and he's moving forward. But the more interesting thing from Aguilar's presser is the question of Tennessee's offense, which comes up every year in the draft process, and how it does or does not translate to the NFL level. And this was Joey Aguilar on some of the things that Tennessee started to implement in 2025 that eases that discussion a little bit for Vols prospects.
Honestly, I think the offense in general, if you go back and watch film, we went a little less option game, a lot more pro-style offense, pure progression reads and things like that. So I think the offense that we ran this year was different from the past few years, and I'm excited for this journey and this next steps, and prepared that they threw me in there in this offense and kind of switched it all around. So
now that is interesting because I'm not somebody. I watch Tennessee games because we talk about Tennessee every week. I'm not charting what percentage of under center, what percentage of shotgun, what percentage of play action, what percentage of spread, different personnel groupings. I'm not doing that on a week-by-week basis when we talk about Tennessee, but you are 100% correct in, one, that question is asked every year, two, because that question is applicable every year. It seems Josh Heupel is cognizant of that to some extent, and maybe there are some tactical advantages in these games that he's decided to deploy at least or move in a direction more of a pro-style system while still incorporating some of the basic concepts that he knows and that the system creates and that they are comfortable running. But if I was a Tennessee fan, I'd like to hear that. I think you give yourself an opportunity to stay competitive for the interest of these quarterbacks, whether it be the portal guys or guys in recruiting, if you do offer them the opportunity. No, we do now run at least components of a pro-style system. We're not just going to run an offense that's going to get you numbers and be prolific in the world of college football, or at least hope to be prolific in the world of college football. We're going to set you up for success at the next level.
Yeah, and I'd be interested to hear maybe we talk to somebody at some point soon who does do those things, who charts those drives and how much they're in 12 personnel versus 11 personnel, because that's been a big criticism. Robert talked to Tennessee receiver Chris Brazzell about the same thing, and Brazzell, I won't say balked at the question, but kind of like quizzically asked Robert, retorted to Robert, you're talking about that Jalen Hyatt offense. What we did is a completely different offense at Tennessee in 2025. So
we checked him on his ball card.
A little bit.
Oh, the Big J Journo.
That's the job, right? That's the job as Big J Journo.
What play would you run on third down if you needed a first?
Correct.
See, if only Ross was here. But, yeah, so that is something that the program is very cognizant of, and maybe we get some better perspective on that sometime soon from someone who has looked at these things and watched damn near every snap of Tennessee football in 2025.
You have any interest in any of the Tennessee or Vanderbilt guys for the Titans?
Ooh. Brazzell, I think
we're sitting squarely second round right now?
I think so. We had Dane Brugler on the other day. We talked to him a little bit about this, that challenge of Tennessee receivers specifically moving up to the NFL. He's got Brazzell, I believe, at number 46 in his overall top 50 prospects. That could certainly land you in the second round based on team needs and how he does with the workouts this week. But he's the one that really comes to mind. Like Joshua Josephs is a very traitsy, lengthy edge rusher in a deep edge class that could be a day 3 option for some depth. But in terms of impact guys, yeah, I'd say Chris Brazzell, maybe in that second, third round range would be somebody that could be an option for the Titans. Good speed, 50-50 balls, great size. So we'll see what happens. But the other thing that Aguilar talked about was the benign tumor in his bicep.
I've forgotten about that.
Right? Ian Rappaport reported on it in January, and it blindsided everybody. It was kept a secret. And he pretty much said it affected him for like 95% of the season. He said it started to affect him very early on.
Did he explain how?
Yeah, so this benign tumor in his bicep was basically pushing up against his bicep and making other muscles having to kind of overcompensate. It was pushing into his pec. Ooh. And he said there would just be this aching, this constant aching, especially when he would start throwing and his bicep was activating. That was just a big challenge to get through. And he said it affected him for most of the season. I tried to get him to tell us, is there a game specifically that you feel it affected you more than others? And he was about to say it, but retreated a little bit. I would just say it affected me for most of the season. I suppose not wanting to throw something that could be perceived as an excuse for a game where, maybe he threw a couple interceptions.
If he immediately said, what was his worst game? Bama?
Yeah, Bama. He had some good moments in the Bama game, and he referenced.
But the turnovers.
But yeah, the pick six was awful there before the half. The Oklahoma game, the turnovers probably had. Yeah, I'd point to those two games, Bama and Oklahoma. So that was interesting to hear just how much that plagued him throughout the course of the season. So it's unfortunate, in my opinion. Not all Tennessee fans agree with this, but I think it's unfortunate that we don't get to see, for Tennessee's sake, what could happen with Joey Aguilar in year 2 under Heupel without having to deal with a benign tumor inside of his bicep affecting his throwing arm.
He's pretty good with it.
Exactly. So, but they move on, and George McIntyre and Faizon Brandon will have a chance to battle it out.
615-737-1045 is the number if you want to jump in. You can do so at any point. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and on Twitch is how you jump in via the F&M Bank chat. If you would like to participate there, we're here at the NFL Scouting Combine, made possible by Wholesale Supply and Two Rivers Ford, the South's most trusted Ford dealer. So, something that we haven't touched on yet. By the way, Ross, do we have things to give away for Friday Fire?
We do.
What do we have?
We have 2 4-day general admission tickets to Bourbon and Beyond Festival in Louisville, September 24th through 27th.
That sounds delightful. If you want free tickets to a bourbon festival,
great lineup.
They've got musical acts.
Foo Fighters, Chris Stapleton, Hootie and the Blowfish,
Casey
others.
Musgraves.
Hell yeah,
great lineup.
Okay, so that's. I just thought it was like a bourbon tasting festival.
No, it's a full-blown music festival.
Okay, hell yeah. So if you want those tickets, don't call yet, but you have to give us your Friday Fire at 11:45. We'll give you ours. It's the thing. Good. The moment of positivity that happened to you this week. Sports, professional, personal, or otherwise. 615-737-1045. If you want to get in line now, we'll do that at 11:45 today. A subject matter that we have not touched on as a show is the Jermaine Johnson trade. Does it impact what they should do or what they could do with the 4th overall pick in the draft? We understand that they've got needs everywhere and that just because they traded for an edge player yesterday doesn't mean that they shouldn't probably add edge in free agency and the draft, regardless of where they take it. But let's just work on the context of the number of their first-round draft pick, the 4th overall draft pick. Should Jermaine Johnson impact their decision, given some of the context that's being put out there around the edge guys? Well, Ruben Bain, his tape is great. He's one of the most well-rounded, but he's got the arm length deficiency that could pop up in any given situation when he plays players at the next level. You've got a guy like David Bailey, who's obviously got a different kind of a build, who may not necessarily be the same kind of 3-down player that Ruben Bain was in college.
Shined yesterday, though.
Athletic testing is not going to be a problem for that guy, right?
Yeah, Bailey, yeah.
He is someone who has gotten comparisons to Nick Bonito, but Nick Bonito, before he was Nick Bonito of the Denver Broncos, an incredible Pro Bowl caliber, all-pro caliber player, he was a 2nd-round pick, right? And we're talking about David Bailey at the top of the draft.
Yes.
So,
and Field Yates went as far as to say that he thinks the floor for Bailey could be 5 overall.
Well, how many teams are we really thinking are going to go edge? Jets need one at 2. Who's at 3 right now?
Oh, who's at 3?
Because the Giants are 5.
Arizona.
Cardinals. Okay, so Arizona probably could use help on their pass. Everybody could use help on their pass rush.
Right.
Theoretically.
That's the thing. Who's the Seahawks' best pass rusher?
By statistics?
No. Yeah, it can be whatever metric you want to use.
Man, I thought DeMarcus Lawrence had a hell of a year.
Mm-hmm, he did, but I think you could say one of like 3 guys.
Leonard Williams from the interior is a really good
Right.
player. Yeah, I mean they've got a bunch of dudes.
Who's the Texans' best pass rusher?
I think it was Will Anderson this year.
Who's their second best pass rusher?
Daniil Hunter.
Daniil Hunter, who would be the number 1 best pass rusher on most any NFL roster.
And Daniil Hunter doing it on a much smaller percentage of snaps than I think people realize.
And so the point is, the best defenses in the league have waves of these guys,
Yeah.
right? So, no, I am not of the mind that because the Titans traded for Jermaine Johnson, who had a nice year 2 leap, and then injuries held him back, and nothing was good with the Jets last year, so there wasn't a ton of production there, and you hope will continue to develop, and we understand the relationship with Saleh, but no, I'd be hard-pressed to say that if you love one of these edge guys at 4, that you get moved off of them because you've got Jermaine Johnson. Getting Jermaine Johnson just means you have
Another one.
Jermaine Johnson and Femi Oladejo. Doesn't mean anything for the pass rush right now. We don't know anything about what Jermaine Johnson and Femi Oladejo are going to be in 2026. I don't think it affects anything, personally.
Well, you know more about Jermaine Johnson than you do Femi.
That's
Femi's
still
your
for sure,
second-round
for
pick
sure,
last
for
year, for sure. I think that the other part of this that I find interesting, and I wonder what the two of you make of this, both Jets fans and Titans fans think they won that trade yesterday.
The best kind of trade.
Both fan bases are jawing back and forth each other on social media.
No, we won. No, we won.
Saying, well, don't pay attention to Titans media and what they say about Tavondre Sweat. Aaron Glenn will get him operating at the highest level. He's got the 5th best defensive tackle grade on Pro Football Focus. These Titans fans don't know what the hell they're talking about. By the way, I think it's fair to point out there's probably some missing context that we have about Jermaine Johnson, right? Because we're looking to be like, well, yeah, T-Swell wasn't doing anything here, respectfully. Not anything of consequence, not anything real. That's a more premium position, and if he's not a scheme fit, then the Titans got the better side of that trade. But Jets fans don't seem to be bemoaning the loss of a pass rusher, a premium position, a former first-round pick.
Yeah, that's what's interesting. You cannot deny that the Titans got a more premium position in the trade than the Jets did.
Yeah.
The discussion is, I guess, about the ceiling of either player, which we cannot sit here and give a definitive answer for either way. So Jim laid it out pretty nice. Like, it's just a trade that works for both teams. So you're going to have fan bases each claiming that they won the trade.
We won.
Yeah, it's great. It's always such a fickle argument to me because there's just such different circumstances, right? Each team addressed a different need. They have other things in other areas. But it is funny how people try to make it black and white.
And there are positives and negatives for both sides.
Sure.
Where Tavondre Sweat, while albeit not maybe the complete player that Jermaine Johnson is, has 2 more years of runway on his rookie contract. So
Yeah.
a cheap nose tackle that Aaron Glenn wants to stop the run, it makes a lot of sense. And what they got him for a depreciating asset, an expiring contract. They were paying a lot of money for his 5th-year option. So, I mean, I think it is the rare win-win. Like, both teams got something that they needed out of this, and I don't think it was to the detriment of their rosters. It is okay to have a win-win trade where someone does not Howie Roseman and fleece the other man out of a star player. It is okay.
No, that's participation trophy mentality. I won't have it. Somebody has to win.
And we'll find that out.
We sure will. Also, I heard Chris Brazzell checked your ball knower card
How is that?
by pointing out to you that the Tennessee offense that was ran last year is not the Jalen Hyatt offense.
Well, I wouldn't be privy to that, but he did note the differences, that the Nico and the Joey offenses are 2 completely different things. But I thought it still bared asking the question because that's something that Tennessee offensive players, not just wide receivers, have had to answer for. And I was glad that he gave us an eloquent answer to that they weren't exactly the same. He even went so far as to say that the Tennessee offense last year had more NFL concepts in it, closer to resembling an NFL offense. So if teams are buying that, again, I'm a layman. Like, I know you're the ball checking card, but like, I wouldn't be privy to those things. And really no one would be unless you're saying, oh yeah, this is a sale concept. This is something that they do in the Shanahan. Like, I wouldn't know that stuff. That's not my bag.
I think that's the first time that I've teased him about something and he actually took it seriously.
I just like adding context.
I know, buddy.
But if teams do buy that, I mean, Cosell, we alluded to this in the first hour, that guys are going to go in the first round that have not been mocked there, have not been thought there.
And you haven't heard anybody say that about this year's Vols offense. I mean, maybe we're just getting into the point where we're having those kind of discussions, but like I had not heard that point being made about different things that Tennessee was deploying versus what they've done in years past.
And it's interesting for someone like Joey Aguilar, who, by the way, you can go back and watch what Joey had to say at Lucas Panzica.
Oh, Jesus.
Yes.
For him, that's his only exposure to the Tennessee offense. Kirby's out. Oh, he's up. Just resting his eyes.
It's like a vampire. Sleeps during the day, only active at night. No. All right, coming up next, Friday Fire.
Here's what you have to do.
To win those tickets, 615-737-1045 is the number. Call in and give us your Friday Fire. What, Lucas?
If you follow at Lucas Panzica on Twitter or Instagram, we will pick one of the first 30.
No.
Yes. Okay.
You're going to get. You're actually going to get lawyers on our ass.
That's not
now.
actually what we're going to do. But don't tell him that.
Oh, okay.
Yes, and you also have to follow at Robbie ROBBY _Walsh WALSH.
Yes,
No,
and unfollow at Buck Rising.
Yes. Wait. Yes. Unfollow him. We won't need you if you're following us. You won't have
Kirby
to-
has an Instagram too, I believe.
Yes, Kirby. Put
No.
Pepsi's in Kirby's mailbox.
You have to post on your story that you unfollowed Buck as well, please.
Yes, we need proof.
Yes, we need proof.
We do need
that
proof.
you unfollowed Buck. And
All
you
right.
get the tickets.
Very good.
Let's break those numbies down.
Friday Fire next. Welcome back to the show, 615-737-1045. What's your Friday Fire for an opportunity to get a 4-pack of tickets to what is the festival in Louisville, Ross?
Bourbon and Beyond.
Babes.
And
Bourbon
Babes.
what?
Bourbon and Beyond.
Bourbon and Beyond. So they've got a bunch of great headlining artists. If you want to attend that music festival in Louisville and sample some great bourbon as well, 615-737-1045. Call in and give us your Friday Fire. We'll get to your phone call shortly. Mine's Combine Week. I love Combine Week. It's my favorite week of this job of the year. I know why that doesn't make sense to fans. I love being up here. I love seeing all of our NFL friends. I've very much enjoyed having Robert and Lucas and Kirby here with me this year. It's made the experience fun, even though this is my 10th Combine at this point in time. It's never something that I don't have a good time at. I love the Combine, and it makes me feel like we're back in, like the football season is back underway, even though we got like a 2-week break to come up for air from the Super Bowl. Combine Week is my favorite forever and always.
Yeah, I'd say mine is echoing that, but on the player side, getting to see these guys as they are steps away from achieving a lifelong dream is always pretty cool, right? And they get a chance to talk about what inspires them, talking about their mom or their faith or their background, where they come from. That's always one of the things that doesn't like make headlines, and we don't talk about on the show at all. But you can see it, nothing positive like that. But you can always see it when you're talking to these guys for the most part that it's probably the happiest media setting that they've been in quite some time, because they're sitting here on the cusp of achieving a lifelong dream, and I think that's cool.
I love when I think it was Zachariah Branch was up there. Someone said, if you could have one liquid that is dispensed from each finger on your hand, what would the 5 liquids be?
Oh, I've gotten that question before.
Whoa.
And they were like sauces included.
Whoa.
And I think he went like barbecue sauce, ranch, ketchup. Like he went all sauces, which I think is dumb.
I'd go water, at least one.
Oh, what a waste.
No.
You're stranded in a desert?
How many times have you been stranded in a desert?
Never, but I get thirsty sometimes.
Okay, here are my 5. Gas out of my index finger.
Oh, great. That's a good one.
Diesel out of my middle
What do
finger.
you need diesel for?
Tractors.
You don't have a
When's the last
tractor.
time you rode a tractor?
When I was home last. In the future, when I own a tractor and
Okay,
land,
all right.
I will be able to. It's like gas is almost $3 a gallon.
No, gas is a great one. Yeah.
Diesel is also a great one.
All right.
And then my other finger, I would go Béarnaise sauce.
Oh, I had some on my steak the other
It
night.
looked so good. Ooh, and on top of that, my pinky, lobster bisque. And my thumb would be tequila soda. So they'd be like, oh my God, that guy's just
Is
sucking
that
on
why
his
you were
thumb.
sucking your thumb last night?
Yeah, just to,
I want some to come out.
Make it a double.
See, Stoney in the F&M Bank chat, always timely, says you're going to be wanting that thumb water when the grid breaks and society collapses.
Okay.
You're going to be asking to suck on my thumb, and I won't let you.
You wouldn't let me suck on your thumb for some water?
He already sucks on your thumb without approval.
So is that your Friday Fire?
My Friday Fire is how much smarter we got this week. We had a ton of great guests, and I feel bad. I was unable to deliver on the Todd McShay, his schedule, where they were just getting so many gems.
Nobody would have known until you brought it up.
Well, I'm going to be transparent because I'm going to try to get him on the show before the draft.
Okay.
I love the information he brings. He was the only guy we weren't able to nail down that I really wanted to get for the audience, but we had a ton of great guys this week. Matt Harmon, Ben Solak. Go back on the YouTube, watch them. You can go listen to them on the podcast. A lot of people that just made us smarter about this thing that we all love. And, I mean, at the end of the day, you could be wasting your time playing tic-tac-toe or whatever Wordle comes out today, but you guys were here with us getting smarter about this thing we all have a common interest in, and that's really cool, and I appreciate that. I appreciate the audience. I appreciate Ross and Zach, Maddie, what's that other kid's name? AJ. They all did exceptional this week to kind of free us up to do our jobs, so I appreciate them, and I appreciate Kirby. Kirby regaled us with tales of old and kept us on the air, and he just made this whole trip entertaining. I love you guys. I love the audience. I love the show. I love everything, except for I would just love to lay in my own bed with my cat in between my legs.
Yeah, I miss my cat.
Oh, I can't wait to see
I miss my
Winston.
cat, too.
What was the best Kirby story of the week?
Oh, I don't know. Last night at about 3 a.m., he was telling me how in Ohio you don't have to pay for tax on food.
Yes.
But you have a city tax there.
And
I was learning about the tax structure of different municipalities and townships and based off populations. And at some point I shut my eyes and I woke him up this morning and you guys were gone.
Robert was doing the thing at a certain point where it was like, oh, wow, where he just didn't know what else to say to Kirby.
But it was,
had nothing else to contribute to the tax dialogue that was going on at 3:30 in the morning.
Kirby is like my little audio book. Like, I don't feel like I have to give anything back to him. He's just going to keep giving me the information that's
Makes you
pertinent.
smarter.
He's the only reason I didn't fall asleep at the wheel driving back from Senior Bowl one year for 6 hours.
I don't know. We're going to break out the glove on this trip back. I don't know what we're going to do.
There
How
will
we gonna-
be no glove. Don't look that up.
Let's take some calls.
Yeah, who's first, Ross?
We got Ryan up first.
Ryan, what's your Friday fire?
Hey, guys. Thanks for taking my call. Really appreciate it. My Friday fire is my beautiful wife of 10 years is turning 40 this week. She's actually from Louisville, Kentucky.
Oh.
So I would love to surprise her with a great trip back to Louisville to see Casey Musgraves.
Ooh.
A big Four Non-Blondes fan. They're actually playing. If you guys know the songs, you don't know the artist. But would
sing a
love
little
to
bit
take
for
her
us.
back up. I don't know if the
it's the only way you're going to get the tickets.
No,
know what to
Robert,
tell you.
stop bullying
Don't do
him. He's
that.
trying to do something nice for his
No,
wife.
that was a very well executed. It's a good reason. He laid out why he would be a good fit to win the tickets. Great submission.
I feel prone to just give the tickets to Madeline Burke. I think we should give them to her.
Who's on next, Ross?
We got Blake on next.
Remember to stay on hold for the opportunity to win these tickets. Leave my friends alone.
Blake, you're up.
What's up, boys? A couple of y'all aren't going to like this, but my Friday fire this week has been Big J Burke. The NFL, they can dress it up as much as they want to for fans, but the Combine is a little bit boring for the rest of us. And, man, though it's not my favorite sports week of the year, I can honor the fact that it's his. And talking in circles about grown men's arm lengths cannot be less interesting. But, man, Bert has kept me highly entertained this week, and I'm just happy he's happy. And y'all are on my radio every day, and y'all may not have wanted him there this week, but I needed him there this week. You're my Friday fire, buddy. That's all I got.
Oh, man.
Kiss ass.
Oh, no, but that's well done. That's well done.
Kiss ass.
That made me tear up.
These guys know how to play the game.
Yeah, they're smart.
Yeah,
Look at his rosy cheeks.
I think.
Are you blushing?
I
No,
think
he's just pink.
I think that guy wins. Wait, let me check with Madeline. Do you want these bourbon tickets? You want to go to a bourbon thing? Okay.
Not no.
All right, Madeline Burke's the winner of Friday Fire. Congratulations. Sorry, everybody else.
Who gets the tickets?
I'm in favor of not giving it to the guy who just said nice things about Robert.
I do think, was it Ryan, the first caller?
Yes.
Put the first caller on and see if he'll sing for us, Ross.
Ryan, if you will sing a snippet from any artist that is performing at Bourbon and Beyond, then you've got the tickets.
All right, so it's Four Non-Blondes. And I said, hey, yeah. What's going on?
Yeah. I said, hey.
What's
going on?
All right.
Nailed it. All right.
Well done, Ryan.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
You get to take Madeline Burke to the Bourbon
No,
Festival.
stop it. Cut it out. Well done by Ryan. That's Friday Fire.
I still love you, though, Blake. I appreciate that. That was very nice.
And it's true.
I'm going to clip that and send it to my mother.
He's going to make it a promo in the radio show. It's going to have nothing to do with me, Lucas, or anybody else on the show. It's just going to be somebody saying nice things about Robert. Nice things or naughty things being written about NFL teams. The report cards are out. We'll talk about them next.
12:02 live from the NFL Scouting Combine in Indianapolis. I'm Lucas Panzica. NFL clubs were informed today that the salary cap for the 2026 season will jump $22 million per team to $301.2 million. If you add in benefits, that'll be over $378 million per club in player spending, a big jump from last year. Meanwhile, workouts got underway yesterday at Lucas Oil Stadium. Ohio State linebacker Sonny Styles stole the show with a 4.46 40 and a 43.5 vertical, the best among the linebacker position. College hoops this weekend. Tennessee back home. They host Alabama at 5 p.m. Vol Network coverage on the Zone starts at 4:30. Vanderbilt hits the road tomorrow to Rupp Arena, taking on Kentucky with a 1 p.m. tip-off. Nashville Soccer Club is on the road at FC Dallas Saturday. Kickoff at 7:30 p.m. Pre-game coverage on the Zone begins at 7. And the Nashville Predators returned last night from the Olympic break with a 4-2 win over the Chicago Blackhawks, the 27th win of the season for the Predators. For all your foundation repairs and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
The NFL really thought they did something when they won their complaint over the NFLPA about getting rid of the report cards, but that was just the publicized report cards courtesy of the NFLPA. The Players Union is still doing the report cards and keeping the results internal, except somebody leaked those internal results to Adam Schefter. Now there's a piece on ESPN.com about exactly that. So the thing that we were all worried that the players were not going to have access to because it's their one way to impact, their biggest way to impact their professional work environment, still has a little bit of juice here. And we have the Titans report card for 2025. Did you guys look through this and see who graded out the worst?
Yes.
Were we surprised to see the Cincinnati Bengals having so many F-minuses? I did not realize F- was an option in these things. But treatment of families, F- is crazy. Nutrition.
How bad do you have to be around player families?
You guys can listen outside of the stadium through the sousaphone.
It didn't even rank them the worst, by the way. They ranked 28th. The Cardinals are one of the worst as well. But treatment of families, F-. Food and dining area, F-. Nutrition and dietitian, F. You had additional D- for home game field, which the Titans got an F- in, for what it's worth, as they play at the old Nissan Stadium. And a very team ownership, a D+. So somebody felt it necessary to give Mike Brown a plus, at least, in the ownership. Cincinnati Bengals grading out as one of the worst in the NFL.
Hide the money, y'all. There's poor people around.
Well, keeping it in the AFC North, the Steelers also got an F in treatment of families. They got an F- in locker room, F- in home game field, an F in team travel, which is not surprising because the Steelers team plane seems to be the one that just has problems every single year.
It broke down twice in 1 year.
Head coach got an A. He's not there anymore.
Yeah.
Team ownership, D-. So I think the Steelers, if I'm not mistaken, rounded out with the worst, average.
They rounded out with the worst overall ranking of any of these teams.
Yeah.
What do you want to call Ramon on air and point and laugh at him?
Oh, yeah, your general manager's still there. He got a C+, though. C's to get degrees.
So, for what it's worth, the Titans also towards the bottom of this at 24. Not the worst, not the best, but not the worst. In a couple of different categories. So we'll go through all of the categories that they have, and I'll ask you guys if you're surprised by any of them. Treatment of families, B+. Remember, they got poor marks, failing marks in that a couple of years ago. They hired somebody specifically to address that family relation. I think it's like a family relations coordinator is the position. Mm-hmm. Home game field, F-. So the turf, the
Coconut shavings.
the coconut shavings, the organic turf that they have apparently is not organic enough for the players to feel like they're playing on a real surface. So F- for Nissan Stadium.
Only on it for another year.
Food, well, I mean, but they're planning on keeping the same
Same material.
Yeah, it's the same material. It's not like that's going to change.
Maybe they'll find a softer nut to put down. Maybe like a macadamia.
Oh, macadamia is softer than coconut.
I would assume so.
Okay.
Perhaps chestnut.
Food, well, he's a free agent. Food and dining, B. Yeah, like you didn't make worse jokes yesterday. Food and dining, B. Nutritionist, dietitian, B. Locker room, D+. And this is the question that I have. Is this the facility or is this the stadium?
Right, yeah, I don't know.
Because they just redid, I say just.
You spend more time in the facilities locker room.
By a mile.
Yeah.
I'm
So
gonna
I would
assume-
think that's what it's in reference to, but I don't know.
I don't either, and I would like some clarification on that. But I'm going to assume.
Maybe it's everything. Maybe they asked
total
them to grade it all in one. I don't know.
Okay, so either way, I mean, one of the things that they keep touting as an organization is how much Amy has invested in the facility. They redid that locker room at the end of Malarkey, maybe start of Vrabel.
The facility locker room?
Yeah, the facility generally. I mean, the facility's undergone some serious makeover in the last couple of years in a variety of different phases. But the locker room, D+ across the board. I don't think that's surprising. Also, something I think that impacts it. Callahan did that thing where they took players out of their position groups
and mixed and matched.
Mixed and matched.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it had the desired effect. And there's, they were 3-14. They were all miserable no matter what you did last year. But I don't think that helped the situation necessarily. Training room, B-. Training staff, B+. Weight room, B. Strength coaches, B. Position coaches, B. Offensive coordinator, C.
Nick Holtz.
Well,
was the offensive coordinator.
Okay, but are we talking about Bo? Or are we talking about Brian? Are we talking about Nick Holtz?
I think it's the entire situation.
Yeah.
I think it's the entire situation.
Well,
Nick Holtz, by the way, who has not landed anywhere.
Yeah, are we surprised by that? Respectfully.
No, just a statement of fact. Hardigree landed in Buffalo, so not a bad spot. QB coach of Josh Allen.
Buffalo also adding Trace McSorley. Did you guys see that?
I did see that. Yeah, to their staff.
Oh, to their staff?
Yeah, to their staff.
Oh.
Yeah, he's been at Penn State since retiring from the NFL, and he got pulled up to Buffalo.
Denard Wilson getting better grades with a B-. Bones, obviously, A+. It's the only A+ on the Titans report card this year. Team travel, C+. Head coach, B-. General manager.
Is that McCoy or Callahan?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter anymore.
It's the sum. the average of it.
I mean, technically, it's more McCoy than it is Callahan, so B-. General manager, B+. This is the lowest grade Amy's gotten in a while. She got a C.
Yeah, it was. What was it? It was a B. Was it a B+ or minus last year, or was it just a B? It was in the B's.
It was. It's lower this year.
Yeah.
So a C for team ownership in a state where the ownership is kind of around but not really, and players have mostly pleasant interactions with her, but I think there is some level of question about, hey, I don't think it's just about treatment of guys when you see them. It's about, do you think this organization is well run? And that is, it's not a failing grade. It's a passing grade, and it's certainly not the worst one on here, but definitely lower, and understandably so. They've had a tough couple of years, and that would wear on anybody.
Did you guys see the addendum they added to this? It was an extra part of the report card. It was concourse food, and the Titans got an A+ for Hattie B's.
Yeah, correct.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, famously.
Yeah.
So F- across the league, I think, are worth looking at. Cardinals, locker room, F-. We went through the Bengals in treatment of families, food and dining. Giants, MetLife Stadium field, F-.
Before you go to the next one, what was the Arizona Cardinals food situation? Because at one point they were making people pay for their food, and I was curious if they were able to
C-.
C-. Monty Ossenfort got a B, though. So good for him.
Ownership got an F. Yep, like you said.
I think they're the only ownership group to get an F. Bidwell.
Which would be an improvement for Kansas City, but we'll get there in a moment.
Well, let's see what Woody Johnson got because he's so concerned about it. Team ownership, B. B.
Because he's in there, he's in the locker room chilling with them. They got the big chain for him.
Squeaky wheel.
B for Woody. Look at him.
Squeaky wheel. Woody Johnson.
You whiny little.
Woody, you bet he would.
Your Ravens got an A+ in ownership.
Oh, they actually got pretty great.
They did. They're 12th overall.
I mean, nobody's was surprised by the Ravens being a good ownership or a good group top to bottom.
They had seasoned D's in the last couple of years. So I remember strength and conditioning program was a huge knock on them.
Steelers lead the league in Fs, not just F minuses.
Love that.
Treatment of families, home game field, locker room, and team travel, all Fs. Apparently they have a bathroom, a locker room bathroom that has only 5 stalls for 53 players plus practice squad. It's very bizarre and likely disgusting situation.
Yeah, but how many people poop at work?
I mean, you go like 4 times a show.
Yeah, so that would be 1 stall. 4 more still available. We just got to offset our schedules, guys.
Bucks get an F- in home game field, as do the Titans. As I mentioned, it's worth mentioning that the Titans plan to keep the same surface that is in the new in the old Nissan Stadium to the new Nissan Stadium. So that does not change when they move over, unless something were to change.
How about the Dolphins? All these A's, team ownership.
They're the number 1 overall.
Number 1 overall, yeah. A+ in weight room and strength coaches.
I don't think people that work there or work for Woody, or not Woody, Stephen Ross, think that he's like. I think that people care, 1, that he's invested, 2, that he tries things even if it doesn't work. It's not the most calculated situation. I do think that there's something. The thing that I get a lot about this, because I've asked this about Amy, about how much more she was around at the start than she is right now. Like, people in buildings do respect ownership, even if they understand that there's some things that decisions are going to be made that probably shouldn't, one way or the other. People respect the idea that your owner is in the trenches with you, that Jerry Jones is in there every day making decisions about the process and progress of the football team. You may not agree with Jerry's decisions, but people who work there and players and coaches and all that do appreciate owners who are around.
Jerry got a B.
That shouldn't be surprising. Jerry treats his guys well, right? I mean, Jerry has some problematic moments from time to time.
Complimenting Hogs.
Calling the Hogs or complimenting Hogs?
It's something with Denzel,
Both.
I think.
So those are the team report cards that the NFL was trying to keep from you, and the media got leaked to them anyway, which is good. Love to see that. Coming up next, we're all going to give you our biggest individual takeaways from the NFL Combine. We're each going to have one, and we'll talk about these things together. I'm Buck Rising. It's 104.5 The Zone.
You, me, you.
No, you go.
You, me, you.
You go.
You ever seen that sketch? You know what I'm talking about. What is love?
Baby, don't hurt me.
Jim Carrey, Will Ferrell, and Chris Kattan, and they're at the bar. They're doing the you, me, him, me, you, him, you.
Welcome back to the show. Fueled by Hattie B's Hot Chicken. I wish I was pretending to be as annoyed as I actually am.
They're at the wedding.
In a lot of
like,
situations.
Him, you, and they just end up just all going up to the bride and like dancing on her.
The best hot chicken in the world. 615-737-1045 is the number if you would like to jump in. All right. It's the last, well, I guess it's not the last segment for the Combine. Also, Mina Kimes is going to tape something with us after the show, so we're not quite done yet. But for our purposes, the Combine is largely done. Now, obviously, the testing will continue through the weekend. You have offensive linemen who will speak at the podium tomorrow, so there's still things to be done at the Combine. But for us, we head back to Nashville today. The biggest takeaway that each of us have from the 2026 NFL Scouting Combine is what? Robert, I will start with you.
I have a number of them, but I'll give you one. My biggest takeaway is players' trepidation to show off their athletic gifts. We were talking to Greg before the show, and he was like, yeah, the drills in Lucas Oil were done so quick because only like 13 linebackers ran. Who's the LSU linebacker? Perkins?
Yeah, Harold Perkins.
Dude, the whole thing about this cat is like, oh, we don't really know where to put him. Like, he's not big enough to be an edge.
When he was a true freshman, I would have said, oh, see you in the top 10 in 2 years.
He was mocked frequently in the top 10, and the guy didn't even want to come out here and do any of the drills. It makes no sense to me. Teams are going to have questions about your usage. Why would you not want to come out and show your athleticism, even if it is slightly below the par? Like with McCoy, with Fernando not throwing, with Jordan Tyson not working out. My second slight observation. Dude, there's a bunch of tall, long corners in this draft. I can't remember a time.
Cosell said the same thing.
That there was this many above 6 foot corners or above 6'1". Like, there's just a ton of tall, long dudes. And I love that.
So let's talk about the testing component of it, because you said something that I just quickly rebuffed at the idea of the Combine losing steam, for lack of a better term. And I think maybe at some point, I think there's always going to be guys who want to test, right, because they want to try and improve their draft stock. And this feels, I don't know how else to describe it. It just feels like a weird draft year, right? Whether it be the level of discussion around the star power, whether it be the positions that are not necessarily premium positions where this draft has its depth, right? We're talking a lot about off-ball linebackers. Edge guys, obviously, there's a lot of. But running backs, it seems like outside of Jeremiah Love, there's a bit of a gulf, but you can still find guys who can give you good snaps in the upcoming season. It's not like a high-powered, star-quality draft, though, right? I think as long as the medicals need to be done in a centralized location where the entire NFL can come and do them, the Combine will always exist. Will the Combine always look like this necessarily? Where it's a huge television product and they've moved around all the workouts for the purposes of television. I took you to workouts yesterday, right? And I was kind of trying to, I wasn't trying to downplay your enthusiasm, but I just wanted to make sure that you knew, one, we're not going to be in a vantage point where it's easy to see the drills. Two, they're not producing the Combine as an in-house product anymore for the people in attendance. They are producing it as a television product. And you're going to miss a lot of the context of the drills because you're not watching it on television.
Right, you don't have the nameplates. You don't know who is exactly running the drills.
It's difficult to see them from the angles.
Well, yeah, because they put them on the exact opposite side of the field. We were at the one side's 20, and they were on the other 35. You could still glean things from that.
You could. If you really, really wanted to, you could bust your ass and pull something out of that. But I'm saying they make it very hard to do in the stadium anymore because they have so changed this into a television product. I think the Combine will always exist in some form or fashion. But I do think it's fair to point out that a lot of these people are going to start deferring to pro days. And they already have in the last couple of years. Lucas, what's yours?
That wholesale supply can be your go-to spot for faucets,
yes,
for toilets, for chairs.
But What if I needed a sink?
For sinks? Is it a supply? They have it
Technically.
wholesale.
How about a curated lighting collection?
Ooh, I've been saying I needed one of those.
Free local delivery, plumbing, electrical, HVAC supplies, wholesalesupply.us is where you can go for more information. Visit the nearest location to you. We've got Gallatin, Maryville, Madisonville, Chattanooga, all across Tennessee. Huge thanks to Wholesale Supply for making this trip to the Combine happen.
Of course.
Go reward them for letting us get up here and do our tomfoolery in Indianapolis.
I love those guys.
Don't hold it against them.
Exactly.
More importantly.
Exactly. My biggest takeaway is that mock drafting in this draft feels almost futile beyond the number 1 overall pick, because when you look at the top of the edge group, it's like something for everyone. Reuben Bain, okay, the length concerns are there, but the tape is outstanding. David Bailey, no length concerns whatsoever, athleticism off the charts, but he himself said he could improve his run defense and some of the physicality, and he may be a little light for that position in the NFL, although the production was insane last year at Texas Tech. Arvell Reese, linebacker / edge rusher, Keldrick Falk out of Auburn, all the traits you could want, but the tape's not really there. He wasn't really utilized in the way you would want to utilize him in the NFL. We talked before the show about how it reminds you of Shamar Stewart last year from Texas A&M.
Just the dialogue around him, not necessarily the player.
Yeah. So the wide receiver position, it's the same. There is no bona fide wide receiver 1 in this class. I mean, I don't know if it's close. So I just think it's going to be all over the place, how teams value different players. And I think beyond, the number 1 or 2 overall pick, it's going to be a scattered top 10 and not what many of us expect because of how little consensus there seems to be about the players here.
And I would even argue that we, beyond 1, right? I think we're just, the Mendoza thing feels like a layup. Keep it simple, stupid, take the quarterback. But I don't know what the Jets are going to do. I'm very curious to see what the Jets end up doing, because they have multiple cracks at this thing. They have, as several teams do, a couple of different opportunities to address needs in the first round. I'm kind of piggybacking off of yours, where I think this is going to end up being a draft where people overthink the picks that their teams make as far as the positional value. But what did Dane Brugler say on here with us? What was that, yesterday when that interview aired? Just take good football players.
Yeah.
I was having this conversation with Greg, the idea of, and I don't remember specifically the year of this draft, but the Detroit Lions had 2 first-round picks. And they took Jahmyr Gibbs and Jack Campbell, right? A running back and an off-ball linebacker.
Right, like 2 of the least, quote-unquote, valuable positions you can take in the first round.
Now, it also helps that Laporta was in that draft, right? They had some other contributors.
Another devalued position, by the way.
Yeah, right.
Yes.
But Laporta was, 4th, or he was later. I think he was like a day 3 guy, if I remember correctly. They had a lot of other contributions from rookies. But they went with those players in the first round because they were in a position to take those players in the first round and understand that those were good football players at positions that maybe weren't premium, but that they needed. Jahmyr Gibbs is a rock star in Detroit. Jack Campbell has been a good player. He's been a plus off-ball linebacker.
All-Pro.
He's a good player, right? So if you see a team or your team take a player that is at a non-premium position in your mind, understand that this draft may not have that premium position with the kind of value that a running back or an off-ball linebacker might actually bring to your football team. Making it specifically about those positions, whether it's Jeremiah Love or Arvell Reese or Sonny Styles or whatever. If Sonny Styles gets to 4 and the Titans take him, am I going to be mad about that? I'm sure some Titans fans would be. They'd be like, "What, just Cedric Gray? What are you talking about?" They just need good football players. I understand that there's positions that you have slated higher as far as your priorities if you're a fan, but try not to overthink it too much.
Yeah, this might be the ultimate BPA draft, right? The best player available draft. It's so interesting because there are some deep positions in this draft. Edge is deep, receiver is deep, corner is deep. But if we scanned Radio Row here and we polled 5 people who's your favorite edge rusher in this class, we probably get 3 different answers. Same goes for wide receiver. At corner, there's a lot there. Robert mentioned the length, some of the traits up and down the cornerback depth chart. I don't know who CB1 is. Jermon McCoy is a huge asterisk in that. What his medicals will look like, what his pro day workout will look like. He's not going to work out here in Indy as he recovers from the ACL. Will that open the door for another VFL and Colton Hood, or maybe a Mansour Delane out of LSU. It's so all over the place. So, I think some fan bases after draft day are going to be losing their minds about, I can't believe we didn't address this need in the first round, but best player available may be the theme. Like, is there, other than quarterback and running back, where it's Mendoza and everybody else and Jeremiah Love and everybody else, is there another position where there's just this clear-cut, no bones about it, number one prospect?
Tight end, Kenyon Sadiq.
Yeah,
he's
Oregon.
Far and away the number one tight end, and kind of.
And it's not is it a terribly deep tight end class?
I would say the belly of the draft. Yeah, they have a lot of different body types, whether you need a Y or an F. A lot of people here have had glowing things to say about the Ohio State tight end Max Clare. Different people talk about Tanner Koziel out of Houston, I believe. I don't have it in front of me, but I'll double check that. But yeah, there's a bunch of dudes that if you need a blocker, you can go get those guys. We just got official heights and weights from tight end. I'm scanning over that now. But yeah, a lot of different body types. Also learned while we're talking about tight end, Georgia tight end Oscar Delp had a hairline fracture. He will not be participating in today's combine. Hairline fracture in his foot that they just discovered. He didn't even know he had it when he came to the combine.
Chat brings up safety.
There are a bunch of different players that can help you there. I wouldn't say it's a notoriously deep class, but the and his name escapes me, the kid out of Toledo is a prospect you could see rise into the end of the first round, or it's definitely a day two.
But
prospect.
Downs is safety one.
Safety pretty locked up there.
Yeah, one of the best players in the draft.
I don't know if you would consider Sonny Styles a safety. After yesterday, someone put his measurements and his combine numbers through RAS, which is relative athletic score, and he was a perfect 10 at 4 different positions. You put him at wide receiver or cornerback, and he was a 10. He's a utterly athletic specimen. I mean, it would be hard-pressed for me to think you would see him playing like only a traditional linebacker role on a defense with the speed, the size. The whole thing is just a crazy package in today's NFL.
No, I mean, I described it. I don't think I've ever talked about drills in terms of the word breathtaking, but like to see him do that vertical leap, it's like, what the hell? What kind of mutant is this?
I see a lot of myself in him.
Yeah, me too.
We didn't run the 40 with you this week.
Not yet.
We will.
Not yet.
Not yet. We're going to go do it outside?
I don't know, dude. You might get 4. What's my 4 time?
I'm just scared that something's going to happen to your body when you try to take off that's going to be unpleasant.
On your marks.
We'll clear out.
Set.
We'll clear out a hallway in the Indiana Convention Center.
Make sure there's no children.
No, don't worry. I'll clear it out. It'll get cleared out.
We're gonna.
What's that smell? My eyes are burning.
Smells like shrimp and donut holes.
I didn't even get a donut hole. Where's that bag at?
Greg ate them up.
Greg took them.
Dude, there were 25 in that bag.
He was so excited.
I told you he's a dessert guy.
I don't mind that. Greg let me pick his brain all weekend. I will happily trade a bag of Munchkins for Greg's knowledge.
Yes, it's as close to a fair exchange as could be made this week. A little bit of Mock Draft Friday, okay? This is the first touch point that we have officially of the NFL offseason, for us anyway. Senior Bowl, we didn't partake in. Obviously, the Senior Bowl happened. There are some things there to be observed and discussed. But as we sit here, for our purposes, through the first real touch point of the NFL offseason, who would you take at number 4 for the Titans?
David Bailey.
Why?
Dude just gets to the quarterback. There are some physicality elements to his game that are probably not there yet to the level that it needs to be in the NFL. To me, that feels more fixable, something that can be addressed easier than something like arm length for an edge rusher, or even worse, a lack of production for an edge rusher. So, as a layman, I see a dude that sacked opposing quarterbacks 14.5 times last year and is an athletic freak to pair up with Robert Saleh.
He's a lot bigger than Ruben Bain is.
That's currently where I'm at.
This is what we would do, or what we believe the Titans will do?
What you would do through one touch point of the season. Because I just kind of, working through this week, I do think that the arm length thing for Bain is going to be something for them that they have to think about, that they have to give significant consideration to, but not just them, by the way. Like it's not some grand revelation. Like I'm sure a lot of teams are going to be like, all right, he's an exception. Do we have room for exceptions in this specific, wherever we are, whether it be 4, whether it be 17, whatever you're picking. But for the Titans at 4, I think the arm length thing is a viable conversation.
I'd probably go Sonny Styles.
If he's there?
I don't care, man. If he's there, man,
I don't know.
It would be the most Cardinals thing to do. They love those functional dudes. Like, go back and look at their first-round picks. They've taken a number of guys that moved. Hassan Reddick. Hassan Reddick was almost the exact same situation Arvell Reese has been in.
Who is that Clemson linebacker?
Oh,
Simmons.
Isaiah Simmons, yes.
Didn't work out, but yeah, it's definitely the type.
At 4, I think I don't even care. Position value, throw it out the window, dude. This isn't a combine-spurned opinion because it's not like an Obi Melifonwu, the safety that came out of Syracuse. That was an athletic specimen. He looked like he was chiseled out of granite. But you went back and watched his tape, and he looked like Tarzan, played like Jane. Go watch Sonny. I mean, I've been saying I think there's an argument that he is the best defender on that team that also includes 2 top 10 picks. So, I don't care. I think that it's so rare that you get a guy like that that's fluid, that already has the movement metrics that looks like Fred Warner. I do not care. Go get a guy like that. Go get somebody that can change your defense and can play and give someone else to be worried about other than Jeffrey Simmons. I don't know if you can say that about Bain. While Bailey is explosive, I don't think he's necessarily as bendy as an elite pass rusher would be. Definitely not as bendy as Nick Benito. Go get the guy that you have as few question marks about as possible, and I would take Sonny Styles.
I've gone back and forth on this all week and just trying to listen to people smarter than me, which is not difficult to listen to people smarter than me, to find people smarter than me.
You haven't talked to me all weekend.
Well, that's by design. And I've really struggled with, okay, where are the Titans actually as far as this roster goes to be able to take a player that's not necessarily in need proper, but the best possible player in that spot. You mentioned Sonny Styles, off-ball linebacker. I think I like the idea, or I'm coming around on the idea of Jeremiah Love. And I am very curious to see how much better the Titans' offensive line is than what we saw for the bulk of, 2/3 of the season. Were they a objectively bad unit, right?
Yeah.
And all of a sudden,
like a bottom half unit at the best. Yeah.
I give Luke Stocker a ton of credit, only because I'm talking to people who are saying Luke Stocker deserves a ton of credit here about the way that they were able to execute their game plan and put that offensive line in better situations to succeed, by extension put Tony Pollard in position to succeed. I think if you have the opportunity to add the most explosive offensive player in the draft at 4, and there's a huge gulf at any position, I think I'm more in on their offensive build than I thought I was a month ago at the end of the season. And that Jeremiah Love, if he's there, I think I'd snap him up today. I reserve the right to change my mind once we get through free agency ahead of the draft. And I think that's fair. I think we should kind of revisit this conversation as we move forward through pro days and things like that. But Jeremiah Love is growing on me. Not that he needs to. The guy's a stud.
Good player.
So that is going to do it for this particular segment. We'll wrap up the show.
Maybe get Kirby's final combine.
Kirby's combine observations. He hasn't done them all week. Did he do them today? Now. No, not now. Later.
Yeah.
Eat your Reese's egg.
Where'd you get that peanut butter cup?
He brought them. Anyway, we will talk about Kirby's combine observations to conclude our combine coverage coming up next. Mercifully, this is the last time we will hear this song this week because it is the last segment from the Combine. Well, I guess not technically, because we're going to do a Mina Kimes interview after the show is officially over.
And run a 40.
Which you will hear on Monday. And are we all four running the 40? Or is Kirby, are you opting out? Are you a first round?
Do you want a 63-year-old to beat you at the 40?
Yes, I would like this.
I can make that happen.
Let's do it.
I would love that.
I
don't have any doubt about it.
I feel
I don't either.
I feel like there needs to be waivers.
I'm sure there will be, at the end of the 40, like waving?
Applauding.
I'm sure they'll be there.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
emergency personnel.
My joke well is just running dry, dude.
Yeah, because it was overflowing to begin with, huh?
I can't keep
Too many tequila sunrises. That guy is a maniac when you take him out of the town.
Without further ado, Kirby's Combine observations.
I will say this. The pickpockets were running wild in the city over the week, and you do not, trust me, you hear it often. There are PSAs about it. Do not leave your valuables unattended. We had one member of the crew who I don't want to throw Lucas under the bus, but lost his wallet like 3-4 times. And then another member.
Twice in the same day.
His miraculously missed.
Did I lose my wallet, or was my wallet swiped? There's a difference.
Well, misplaced, absconded with, stolen.
Carelessly left, some would say.
Let me paint a picture for the audience. So Lucas has been scampering about like a little squirrel trying to make sure all his nuts are put away for winter. Oh, I've got to go get this guy. Oh, I've got to get this podium. And in his haste, he left his wallet on the table. In this room full of professionals, whoever would leave their wallet out so someone could just yoink it.
Many people, because it's a trusting environment.
So I saw it there, and I put it in my pocket, and I waited, and about an hour, we had just finished the show, and Lucas is like, dude, I can't find my wallet anywhere. And we all make eye contact. It was like Buck's left eye and my left eye matched, Kirby's right eye and Buck's right eye matched, and in unison we knew, ladies and gentlemen, we've got him.
But it's adorable because Robert will pick his wallet up anytime Lucas leaves it somewhere. And it was like one of my college roommates went out to dinner with us the other night and had seen Robert orchestrate this trick at dinner. And noticed my former roommate, sitting next to Lucas the moment when Lucas realized that he didn't have his wallet, because you start to see his facial expressions contort a little bit.
He was so scared.
I
was like, dude, you just went to the bathroom.
I'm opening my phone because I have a tracker in my wallet. I'm like, where did I leave it?
It's still on this block.
Well, the best part is he has an AirTag on the wallet. So, like, every time he does this, the AirTag is sitting right there, and each time he doesn't realize that Robert has the wallet.
The app is like, your wallet is with you. What are you talking about?
And every time
Robert's just sitting next to him, looking over at him.
The reveal, I think I pulled it off perfectly. I was like, oh, dude, you didn't even look behind your ear.
Yeah.
And I showed it back to him. And
Well played.
I think that's what ticked him off the most about it, was like, stop taking my wallet. Later that night, I had lost my wallet, and as soon as I realized I didn't have it, I went to Lucas and I was like, "Give me my wallet back." Kirby walks in from the back porch from smoking a cig and is like, "Hey, did somebody leave their wallet out there?" I'm sorry,
I wouldn't do that to you.
Yeah.
Kirby's second observation.
Don't ask me, or don't be funny and cute when you're wanting a drink and expect me not to follow up with that.
I was not funny or cute.
Tequila sunrise. Hey,
All right.
You looked great walking around with a neon
No,
plant.
I did not.
We looked for paper umbrellas, but we were unavailable.
So it's the first night that we get to the Combine. It's Monday night, and we decide, okay, we are undaunted, just like the Indiana Hoosiers. We are going to go out, and we are going to kick off the Combine proper. So we go to the JW Marriott, and we begin to imbibe. Robert, like me, drinks tequila soda when we have a bit of a marathon evening in front of us. And Kirby, because he's deaf, hears tequila sunrise and goes to order the tequila sunrise at the bar, whips around very shortly thereafter, who the F orders a tequila sunrise, brings back a rainbow-colored drink for Robert to drink, to which many Many NFL personnel
Oh my
people,
God.
Patrons were applauding.
It was
coaches,
the most embarrassing moment of the
many
weekend.
people of note in the NFL world look sideways at this man walking around with a tequila sunrise. You know, you yourself are the colors, plural, of the tequila sunrise.
Shut up.
So it was fitting.
Well,
A
the
little bit of
biggest
red, a little bit of pink.
The issue was I finally drank it because I'm like, let me just get done with this so people don't think I'm on a freaking cruise this weekend. We're talking to people. Everyone's like, what the hell are you drinking? I finally chug it down. And Lucas is like, hey, you want a drink? I was like, yes, a tequila soda. We turn around, continue our conversation, and Luke is like, hey, here's your tequila sunrise, buddy. And he got me another one. All night I was drinking these gas station slushy equivalent of a tequila drink, and I just from that moment forward, that's also the night that Kirby said that he was going to cut me girdle to gizzard.
Yeah.
And threatened me in the back of an Uber, which he told the Uber driver, you won't remember any of this. I'm throwing his body in the river.
Yes. Self-incriminated immediately. That's third.
Can't prove a thing.
That's the third Kirby Combine observation, which I will make for Kirby. Kirby's violent.
I'm not violent. There was no bloodshed.
He did give me a terrible rash with his key, though.
I rubbed the car key across. I didn't have my blade, so I just raked the car key across his knuckles a couple of times.
I didn't have my blade.
The funny thing about the bar was the bartender was in on it, so anytime that you went to the bar to ask for tequila soda, she was going to give you a tequila sunrise.
And you offered her. We went to
I gave her
another.
$100. I told her, I'll give you $100.
She wouldn't even let me order another drink. I went to order a drink, and I just walked away.
That's
It's
right.
just like, I was like, give it to somebody at the bar. I don't want it. Can I get 6 Ultras, please? Put them in a bucket for my head.
All right, Kirby's fourth Combine observation.
Well, once again, we freeze, we shiver, we cuddle in a corner trying to keep warm, and the last day here, it's 60 degrees.
It really
beautiful today.
It was, I mean, we talk about how often Lucas and Robert spoon on a regular basis, but because Lucas had a bed and Robert was riding the couch for the weekend, there were several moments where I was concerned that they were doing it for more than just body warmth.
Well, I will say that was a comfy couch, but I do not like sleeping in a house full of men and nothing but my underwear. I am a creature of comfort. I generally sleep in the buff, and this weekend was tough for me because some nights I slept with a shirt on,
Felt
which I don't
restrained.
think since I was a baby, dude. I mean, I've been sleeping in the
breathe.
nude.
Do you understand? He went to disrobe slightly when we got home from the bar at 3 a.m. And because he was both, stumbling upon himself. What was the journalism that you did last night, by the way? Do you have your journalistic reporting from
What am I allowed to say?
whatever you tweeted, I suppose?
Oh, yeah. Not the real
The thing
stuff.
that you put in the
We weren't there with you.
I was like, you literally told me not to tell everything I know last night.
Oh, yeah. I actually let Robert talk to a number of NFL coaches and then told him very soon thereafter, you're not allowed to say anything that you just heard here.
Have the knowledge.
Yes, and the knowledge last night as Robert Walsh embarked upon his final evening at the NFL Scouting Combine was...
I'm doing my best Adam Schefter here. Sources are telling me that I might get a little drunk tonight.
And then?
I quote tweeted it and said, my sources were correct.
Confirmed.
He went to disrobe after he confirmed his own sourcing and then accidentally took his entire bottoms off, to which we were greeted with a pay. I've never seen a concave ass before. Lucas's is like a bubble, right? Like you could do the Kim Kardashian shelf test.
People
with
here
Lucas.
this
Set a
weekend
beer
are giving
can
us a
on it.
run for his money.
I have never in my life seen an ass that was jutted inside like a sheer face.
Yes, it's built for comfort, not for speed. So mostly because I'm sitting on it all day, I have a permanent indention.
This looks like a deflated whoopee cushion.
Let me inflate it real quick for you. I got you.
We got a 4-hour car ride. I don't want to think about anything being inflated on you. All right, very good. Are
Let's
we done?
do some polls.
No, we didn't do any polls.
It's the polls music.
Nothing like a wing order at 2 in the morning.
Oh, wait.
Wait a minute, I'm going to go to bed. Here, you guys eat these wings
That was my fact.
and the rest of that pizza.
Robert accused my inner fat kid of showing because when I drink, I get hungry. and I started to make one of those delightful frozen pizzas that I brought with us.
So good.
And also ordered Wingstop at 2:30 in the morning.
I was like, oh, you're going to get fat.
And then I decided that I was going to eat half the pizza and not eat any of the wings. And I said, they're going to be here in about 30 minutes. I'm going to bed.
So fat shaming you worked so I could get fatter.
Yes.
It's incredible.
Full circle.
The way my mind works is an enigma.
This place is cleared out.
Yeah, thank God.
I know. I keep wanting to go to people's tables and see what they left.
Oh, what? Like you did the St. Elmo's table?
Anybody leave a charger? A wallet?
Going to start pilfering things from the combine. Anyway, that is going to do it from Indianapolis.
Hit the polls.
We appreciate you guys spending time with us this week. We will have some additional social media stuff for you throughout the course of the afternoon into the weekend. We appreciate Wholesale Supply and Two Rivers Ford for making it possible. Well done by all. Time for bed.
Later.
Good night, Nashville.
Mama.